Good afternoon. It is 2:58. I'm Joseph Bonanno, live from the 104.5 The Zone studios. Titans head coach Brian Callahan met with the media today as the next phase of the offseason program rolls along. Callahan was asked about how the quarterback reps between Cam Ward and Will Levis have been split so far this offseason.
Right now, it's all evenly split. We're not competing right now. It'll change probably a little bit when we get to the actual OTAs and we got 7-on-7 and some teamwork and stuff like that. But right now, there's really not going against anybody, so we just roll through it. They're probably roughly about even all the way through, which is pretty standard for this time of year.
Tennessee baseball's first matchup in the SEC tournament is set as they will face off against 9-seed Alabama tomorrow morning at 9:30, weather depending. After the Tide defeated Missouri today, the winner will face top-seeded Texas on Thursday. NBA conference finals begin in the West tonight as the Timberwolves head to OKC to face off against the Thunder. Tip-off is at 7:30 on ESPN. For your foundation repair and whatever needs you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Yo, what up, Nashville? 3HL is on the air. Britt Doherty with you on a beautiful day in the Music City. Now, having said that, severe weather approaching, so head on a swivel. There's a huge line of storms crossing into West Tennessee right now. There are storms in front of that front as well, so we'll keep you updated as best we can. NBA playoffs, begin again tonight with the Western Conference Finals, the NHL playoffs, the Eastern Conference Final. The NBA calls them the Finals. The NHL calls them the Final, which is kind of weird. But we'll talk about it. Also going on, SEC baseball tournament is underway. Alabama defeated Missouri 4-1. Today, that means that the 8-seed Tennessee Volunteers get the 9-seed Alabama Crimson Tide tomorrow at 9:30. Everybody ready for SEC baseball at 9:30 in the morning? Zeph Dog?
Maybe.
What do you mean maybe?
It might rain. Have you ever been to Hoover? It is known for raining randomly.
Yeah, forever.
At
SEC Media Days were in Hoover, Alabama. Although we'd never left the hotel, the Winfrey. But I have not been to the tournament. Have you been to the tournament?
Yes.
Yeah, we talked about it yesterday.
Yes, I covered in 22 when they won the whole thing.
Let's see. I heard it was hot in Hoover today. Let's see what the temperature. Yeah, it's 82 degrees in Nashville. 87 degrees in Hoover, Alabama. Executive producer of 3HL is Zeph.
What's up?
I talked with Mike Buckner in the hallway before the show, and he couldn't find anything wrong with Slay's mic, so there might be a remember we had a ghost in the last studio we were in?
We did.
Oh. He couldn't recreate it. And I said kind of like when you take your car into the shop, and he goes, yeah, I guess so. Babs is here. What's up, Babs?
What up?
What up, a bit?
Or when you take the dogs to the doctor or something. Or you go to the doctor, like, oh, I feel better now.
I couldn't hear you. Your intro was playing.
Oh, I'm sorry. My intro is very loud.
It is. It's like when you go to the doctor. Is that what you said?
Yeah, when you go to the doctor because you're sick, but then you feel better by the time they can actually get you in for
Or
an
you go to the
appointment.
doctor and you're like, man, my knee hurts. I'm getting an MRI on Friday. Can y'all help me out, whatever? And they take like a gallon of fluid out of your knee.
Yeah. Sometimes that happens, too.
Thanks for the picture, by the way.
Ron Slay's here.
I'm in the building.
Yeah, that picture was something.
Why do you have so much fluid on your knee?
It reminded me of my friend Brian Rucker, who was the best man at my wedding when we were kids. Well, I say kids. We were in high school. His dad, Thomas Rucker. What up, Thomas Rucker? He always said I look like a hoodlum if I wore my hair, hat backwards. But anyway.
You're still a hoodlum.
Yeah. Some things never change.
30 years later, what do you know?
Or more. So when you showed us that picture of the fluid they took out of your knee, it reminded me of that. And Slay, I got to tell you, man, he had to go in like every couple weeks or every month or something to get fluid taken out of his knee. And as I remember, it was like a really big needle.
Yeah, that ain't me.
Okay, good.
Yeah, two totally different. Whoever that guy is, that ain't Big Slay. So That ain't where I'm gonna be going. But
But you don't know.
Could they tell you anything today?
I definitely no. I just I got my stem cell treatment, which made it feel better, and I got the fluid drained off my knee, which made it go down, which made the flexing and being able to step. I just walk slower now because I'm scared to walk fast. It's like one of them when you get treated and you got the therapy. Like, why would you go back out and test it right away? Like, give it 2 or 3 days. Listen to your body. So I'm just taking it slow, but I'm still doing the MRI on Friday anyway.
Yeah.
To see where the fluid came from.
I'm glad you're doing that. Man, I hate that for you.
I know. It's all good.
Well, no, I know how much pain you're in, man.
No, I'm good, man. I'm you know what I mean? Don't one monkey can't stop this show, and there ain't no monkeys in this building. So,
Okay.
you know. I don't know where it came from.
I don't either, but that was good.
That was a hell of a
Let it
save.
roll, man.
Again, 8 seed Tennessee gets 9 seed Alabama tomorrow at 9:30. The Vols took the series from the Tide this year 2-1, so that's one of the 5 that they won. And it hasn't been recent.
You know why? Why, Slay?
Because they suck.
12 seed Oklahoma and 13 seed Kentucky.
Love playing into that.
Thank you.
Have they finished that game?
No, that game started.
Why is that drop so long? Like 3 or 4 little sucks would have been cool.
Nah, you
Also-
said you wanted the whole thing. I
Also,
got you the
it's
whole thing.
Oh, that was my meme? That was
Yes.
that was one. Oh, cool. You know, I never listened to it.
Yeah.
I just sent it. I know that
Well, that's what it sounded
I'll
like.
get my point across.
You did. Well, if you get an Oklahoma-Kentucky score, that'd be great stuff. The winner gets number 5 Georgia tomorrow. The winner of that game gets number 4 seed Vanderbilt in the quarterfinals. 10 seed Florida, 15 seed South Carolina set to throw out the first pitch around 4:30. The winner gets number 7 Ole Miss tomorrow. And then 11 seed Mississippi State, 14 seed Texas A&M later tonight. The winner gets number 6 Auburn tomorrow.
Wiggle.
How about that?
Wiggle.
Got a couple things going on.
Wiggle,
So
Legal.
Morgan Wiggle.
Chris Lowe is coming.
Kick him in the butt, Big Blue.
The hell is that? I never heard that
Out of
before.
control.
You haven't heard Wiggle. What?
No.
You don't know Bodagetta?
What?
Who?
It's like you're speaking a foreign language over here.
Ebonics. That's
Have
what
you
it's
heard
called.
Bodagetta, the Auburn
Who's
cheer?
that?
No. Yeah, no, you're on your own on this one.
What?
All right, educate the people.
I even know it. I used
say
to
it
know the
again.
movements.
How you say it?
Bodagetta.
Is that a movement or like
No, it's an Auburn cheer. Where are my Auburn people that listen to our show? Come on, back me up here.
this is what I need.
Do you want me to do it for you?
No, first, before you do it, I need somebody from Auburn to call in and stamp this story.
And vouch?
What's it
I
called?
think you just made this up.
No,
Bada
no.
Eagle.
I'm about to do it. No, it's Bodagetta.
Oh, you got to get up to do
Bada
it?
Eagle.
Oh, she got up. Wait, but if you want to see this, watch the show, YouTube,
Please.
Facebook Live,
Now,
Twitter. and
everybody
Twitch.
take it 10
hold on,
seconds.
wait up,
We're
Don,
giving
wait
10
up, Don.
seconds for everybody to get onto the chat. Pull your cars over right now. Babs is about to Bada Eagle.
Which I don't even know what that means.
I vaguely remember.
Uh-oh. No,
here we go. Here we go.
Oh,
This
I'm
is not
doing it.
regulators. Let's go.
You ready? All right.
Bada Eagle on 3.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
You say ready.
Ready.
Ready. 1, 2, 3. Bodagetta, 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 ba. Rah, rah, rah. Sis, boom, ba. Wiggle, wiggle, war damn eagle. Kick him in the butt, Big Blue. Hey. There you go.
I
Man.
have never in my life
Listen.
seen anything like
Listen.
that before.
Just a little Auburn baseball cheer
That
there.
feels like that started in like 1918 or something.
Yeah,
did.
that doesn't exist. I've never seen that.
No, I'll tell you
That's
what.
not
I
real.
mean, it probably looks a little bit
Look at
different
this
than what
lady.
I did, but
Look at this lady.
it was
That's
similar.
fake. That's not real.
Yes, it is.
Listen,
No, it's not.
That's fake.
Listen.
That's not real.
Google it. Google it.
I don't need to. I just saw it.
Which
It's
is-
not real. I've never seen that before.
I love that you were able to do that. This is what I need next time, though. If you ever
kinda
perform
out
this
of
again,
breath.
that's okay. I'm gonna give you time to catch your breath. Right? Yeah. This is what I need you to do. The next time to kick him in the butt. That right there was kicking a kid in the butt. Adults'
yeah.
butts are a little higher than that. You gotta raise.
Well, your girl is not a cheerleader or dancer. And also, I'm old, so my
Stem
leg
cell.
doesn't go up that
Stem
high.
cell therapy. You can roll with me in the mornings, Babs. I was over there at 7:45.
The Lone Phoenix had never heard of it. Zach Lyons in the chat. Is Don having a stroke?
Oh, he's an Alabama guy.
Don't
ignore him.
Tony said, "Get it, Babs,"
That's right.
in all caps. Jim freaking Nance, what the what?
What the?
That's a Coach Max saying.
What the what?
Yeah, so there you go. You can watch the show live, YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitter, Twitch. You never know what you're going to see.
Twitch, please.
Thank you for that, Babs.
You're welcome.
NBA playoffs. Well, before I get to that, here's what's going to happen. Chris Lowe is driving into town for the AC/DC concert. He's nervous about the weather.
Should be.
Yeah, absolutely should be.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, not to make you more worried about it, CeeLo, but yeah, you should be.
There's going to be 100,000 other people out there with you.
Yep.
Well, the good news is, at least for now, is that the main line of storms is pretty narrow now, producing tornadoes and things like that. So there's that. There are also.
Does that mean it'll be quicker?
Well, there are storms popping up in advance of the line too. So we'll keep you updated as things. The air is unstable. Let's say that. As is the show, evidenced by the last few minutes. Chris Lowe on his way here. He will hop in studio when he gets here, and I don't know how long he's going to stay, but we will get into the story that who was it? Ross Dellinger yesterday.
Yes, it was Ross Dellinger.
Had the story about how the major conferences are trying to combat the Tennessee legislation that just happened by making all of the member institutions sign a contract saying that stipulates that they are with everybody else. Like everybody will play under the same rules.
And waive their right to sue over any decisions, as Tennessee has been known to do over the last couple years.
And it's going to be an interesting power play because they're saying if you don't sign it, then you are out of the conference. How about that?
How about the ultimatum?
Can you imagine telling like Tennessee or Florida or like any of those like big name schools?
Well, right now it would be Tennessee and Vanderbilt. Those are the only two. Like they're doing it to combat that, but they also understand that other states would do it. So that's why they're trying to get in front of it, which they're not really in front of it. So maybe Dawn could go to the meetings and do her little cheer and distract everyone.
Hey, listen.
I've never
Auburn people.
She might get Auburn
that.
kicked out of the SEC for that.
Well, I get that all Auburn people know that, but like, why does no other fan base know about it?
Well, you should, because when we're beating you guys, you hear it.
Bada giga.
Bada gitta.
Body giga. That turns into a Texas A&M thing. Body gig'em.
No.
They raise up on one hand and make the lagoon.
I have heard war chicken fly down the field. I forget the rest of it, but that's how it's
War chicken?
Mm-hmm.
No,
War eagle.
he's being a jerk.
No, that's my Alabama friends say that.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
They have a different take to the war
I
thing.
bet they got a lot of different takes to a lot of things.
I've got some bad news about the AC/DC concert.
Uh-oh.
It's been canceled.
Already?
Yeah.
Anki Bop is hot.
Dang.
I just had two people who said they're working the concert call in and say that they were told it was canceled. No AC/DC tonight.
I would wait. I need something a little bit more. But that's it, Zeph. I'm rolling with you. Because the weather's supposed to get bad, but I'm gonna need something.
Oh, that stinks.
They might be trying to trick
That
people so they can
stinks for
get their
everybody.
friends in though. What would they trying to get people to like CeeLo to turn around?
No. Postpone. Somebody said postpone to tomorrow.
I wonder who's paying for these rooms.
Postpone till tomorrow.
Yeah, can you just do that? You can't just do that when you've got 60,000 coming, right?
No, I mean,
Bob and his older brother were in the parking lot, and Bob's older brother had the AC/DC T-shirt on.
and Chuck Taylor's.
And Lowe's coming from Knoxville.
Yeah. Not just for us.
That's the thing about these big concert stadium shows is people come from all over.
Los
Yeah.
I said Los. CeeLo knows everybody though.
I was
So
going
he
to
got
say.
plenty of reasons. Stay with
He's
Tony
got
White, stay with
3
me.
places to
he can
stay sitting
y'all,
in the studio right now. He's
CeeLo is
fine.
fine.
He can go stay with Jordan Howell over there.
What about the other 59,999 CeeLos though?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Is CeeLo about to walk in? He's probably listening to us on his way in, and he's not going to be happy. camper.
Man.
Tony says Kendrick Lamar would perform in the storm.
Taylor Swift will perform in the
He
storm.
did.
Taylor Swift just waits it out.
He did in Carolina.
And she goes beyond midnight, which costs you big.
K-Dot he didn't go. He let it roll.
He let it roll.
Let that thunder roll. Let it rain down
How
on my
about
head.
Prince in the Super Bowl?
Let it rain
There
down
was
on my head.
0% chance of rain when Prince performed in the Super Bowl. And when he started playing Purple Rain, it rained.
That was crazy.
There was a 0% chance.
What if the government put that
How about
out?
that?
What if the government put it was 0% chance and they knew it was going to rain?
All right, I got another
the
update.
government?
Wait, you think the government's behind Prince?
Are you on conspiracy
I'm
theories
just
now?
saying. Like
Maybe
did it give for a
just-
better show, a memorable show?
If the
Absolutely,
government was
we're still
behind
talking
Prince,
about it.
why is Prince dead?
I have
it was
a,
somebody else.
No, well, maybe Prince has the direct line to the man upstairs.
There you go, Babs.
When it's time to go, it's time
Greatest
to go.
performance, I'm out of here.
I have another concert update.
Okay.
Here we go, Zelf.
Hey,
Is it the same concert?
Yes.
Hit the horn, Zelf, if you got an announcement.
Oh, it's an announcement? Okay, yeah.
Well, it is an announcement.
Okay, here we go. There we go. A police officer just called in and who was working it and said it is postponed until tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Well,
Sign,
that's
seal,
legit.
delivered. Unless he got a lot of buddies in town that are state troopers.
And they're trying to all go.
Bingo.
And they didn't get tickets, so now they can get tickets.
Bingo. That's how you do it. Smart.
Before we start, let's go to 6-1 at Antioch. 6-1, what up?
What's up, y'all? I just called to mess with my guy Slay.
I mean, why not?
I was so my wife had to have a procedure done this morning because she had some issues with her back, and we stopped to get something to eat on the way home. And I ran into this lovely young lady who had on a boom, boom, boom shirt. and come to find out, it's Slay's wife, Chris.
Oh, you met Chris.
Yeah, she's everywhere.
And this
She's
lady,
everywhere.
man, I tell you what, man, I went into the restaurant, I had my mind set on what I was going to get. I was going to get this, and that was it. She proceeds to tell me, we got macaroni and cheese, right?
Yeah. Yes.
We got white.
She upsold you. No problem.
Yeah. But she said on Sunday we do yams, we do cabbage. She said I try to go soul food. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not finna mess with you, lady. I said, you finna have me gaining all the weight back I done lost.
Hey, man.
I walked out of there with 5 plates.
That's my girl. She know what to do.
She gonna pack it on you, man.
Hey, dog, I appreciate you supporting us out there, man.
That's great.
No doubt.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Thank you,
All
6-1.
love.
Out there, Sam Ridley Parkway.
Yeah, hope your
Yeah,
wife's
man.
all right, too, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Back procedure ain't nothing to mess with.
I'm telling you, you walk in there, you coming out of there with a lot more than you thought you was going in there with.
Before we take a break, another announcement. This time from Nissan Stadium on Twitter.
Official news. It
Hit the horn,
has
Zell.
been
Ain't nobody gonna believe you unless you hit the
I
horn.
gotta hit the horn. My bad.
Snort.
There we go. All right, it has been officially rescheduled to tomorrow, May 21st, due to inclement weather. All previous purchased tickets will be honored for the new date. Ticket purchasers will receive an email with more information.
Meanwhile, hotel general managers are like, yes, Ewing, yes.
Also-
we'll be right back.
Cousin Paxton just said the same thing. He
Also,
just
when we
updated.
come back, NFL breaking news.
NFL breaking news. When we come back, we have tons of Titans to get into today as well. Jim Wyatt will join us at 5 o'clock, 615-737-1045.
You need new windows and doors? You need Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. They're the best. I've used them. That's why I am confident. And I can say that to you is because they really are the best. We love our new windows and doors from Pella, and they have been number one for highest quality and craftsmanship based on this Sitting 2022 survey of leading brands among homeowners. Homeowners here rated Pella as the leading window brand in Nashville, as number one for innovation. Pella's rated number one as the most trusted window brand, and Nashville homeowners recommend Pella windows more than any other window brand. I could go on and on with all the things they ranked number one in, but I'm just telling you, they're the best. And I went through all the companies before I found them and used them. You might be surprised to learn how affordable placement windows are from Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. And they're celebrating 100 years in business, so you know they're doing things right. They have a May offer. It's called the Dawn Deal. You just have to ask for that. Just say, give me the Dawn Deal, 50% off qualifying installations and 0% APR for 36 months. Ask for details, schedule your consultation, and check out the Dawn Deal at PellaNashville.com.
What's happening, y'all? Can you hear me? Is anybody out there? Hey, what's happening, y'all? Big Slay coming to you with Low T Center. This is the opportunity you've been waiting on. It's time to get in the game. How you going to get into the game if you're sitting out and your body is hurting, your testosterone levels are down, your body is down, your energy is down? You got an opportunity to fix that. Yes, be the solution to your problem. The summer's here and it's coming very, very fast. Time for gatherings, time for friends, family, activities, and holidays. But how are you going to keep up if your testosterone levels are low? The answer, TRT with Low T Center. Online, TRT services might seem convenient, but often you end up spending hundreds of dollars on reliable test kits. And listen, I've been a part of trying other brands and other companies. They're not like Low T. Low T is loyal. Low T is going to sit with you. They're going to show you the way, and they're going to get you right. And if you're also thinking about taking a little weight loss, semaglutide is right there for you. You get a free B12 shot with you at the same time. So go to lowtcenter.com in Hendersonville or right there on McEwen in Brentwood, lowtcenter.com.
3HL 104.5 The Zone. Brent Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slay, producer. Zeph.
What's up? I have a lot of breaking news for you guys.
Well, first, other breaking news is I saw Eki Bop in the hall, and he was headed to AC/DC, and he is very upset. And I said, dude, don't worry about it. This time tomorrow, you'll be excited that it hadn't already happened and that you're about to go.
It's true.
See, don't I always look on the positive side of things?
Yeah, you do. It's annoying.
Hey, somebody
Just
out there
saying.
will love me. I don't know.
All right, so which breaking news would you like first? The NFL breaking news or the Tennessee basketball breaking news?
NFL breaking news.
NFL breaking news. The NFL owners have approved allowing players to participate in flag football at the 2028 Los Angeles Olympic Games. The Summer Games are set for July 14th through the 30th in 2028.
Did anyone ever send them the video of Robert Edwards playing flag football? But that was on the beach. That wasn't like on a field. But he tore everything in his knee, doing something that had nothing to do with his team.
Play for the
activities.
Vikings, or running back?
Played for Georgia. I don't remember in the NFL. I think it was the Vikings. He was awesome at Georgia.
Yeah. No, I didn't know that.
Unless it was beach volleyball. Maybe it was that. I think it was flag football on the beach. I think that's what it was.
Should have went to Kellum Stem Cell.
That, right? Well, this was back in 1999 or
exist.
something.
Aha. Over here in America,
This is when Tennessee dominated Georgia in football.
but in Europe, I think it did.
All right, breaking Tennessee volunteer basketball news.
That's right. Zakai Ziegler has officially filed a lawsuit against the NCAA regarding his eligibility. He is looking to get a 5th year. Reading the lawsuit alleges that the NCAA's rule permitting only 4 seasons of competition within the 5-year eligibility window is an unlawful restraint of trade under federal and state antitrust laws. We have requested a preliminary injunction to allow Zakai to compete in the upcoming season while pursuing his graduate studies. We look forward to a swift resolution to this matter so that Zakai can begin preparing for next season. Ziegler is represented by Liston PLLC and Garza Law Firm. Liston
Garza, yeah.
PLLC is a boutique law firm focused on white-collar criminal defense and high-stakes litigation.
Oh, well, there's both ends of that spectrum.
No,
Diego Pavia's like, here's my
blueprint. Yeah, this is what I used.
Have at it. Okay, can I ask you this, though?
Absolutely.
Let's say it works. He comes back. Is there a spot for him?
Yeah, there's one spot.
Well,
Tennessee has one spot.
No, you make a spot.
Okay.
Yeah, if you get that, you ask somebody to just golly, what was that? The example I wanted to use? It's the same thing. Sheesh, it was 2 years ago. They were trying to go get somebody. They didn't have a spot available. Oh, I don't even know what I'm supposed to talk about that.
Uh-oh.
I literally was. I
happens
remember,
often.
and I was. It clicked right as you stopped yourself.
Yeah, I was trying to remember. But on another note, if the rule passes, then they also could get Jordan Gainey back. Because remember, if that move,
That's when
that
you
would
can
move
make
from
somebody-
13
yeah.
to 15.
But-
But you have 2 scholarships available. But with him, I don't know what it is
His
with grad
dad's
students.
Yeah, and his dad's an assistant coach. Do you get special treatment there?
No, not at all. But as far as Zakato, can't you? We've seen people go get their take grad classes and still go play. They usually transfer and go play somewhere.
Yeah, but you still
But you
take
still
a
have
scholarship.
Yeah. I don't know.
Somebody
about that.
would become a walk-on.
Somebody listen. They this is just like
They would
remember
find
when,
a spot for both of those guys.
and remember when Diego Pavias came up. We all said, man, listen, with the money that's over there, they're not just throwing some up to throw it on the wall to see if it sticks. Somebody knows something. So, man, that would be a heck of a lift. Darn, what other records can you set?
That's what I'm saying. Like, we talked about this before because it
That's
became a
stupid.
thing with Jordan Gainey because, like, this girl that's a friend of his put something on
And
social
he came
media.
out and said it recently.
And then somebody asked Zakai Ziegler, this was before the Gainey thing. Somebody asked Zakai Ziegler about it. Like, would you come back for your 6th year if you could? And he said, why wouldn't I? That was his answer.
Yeah.
So,
And Zakai's just be 5.
oh, is that what it is?
That's only 5.
Yeah.
Maybe it's 5.
615-737-1045. KC, next up on 3HL. KC, what up?
You know what? Now
people are looking at me because I said I was at the Y, and now I got to walk out the Y and talk to you guys.
What Y are you at, Casey?
East Nashville, Gardner Road.
All right.
You know about that?
Yeah, that's a little one-level one. Yeah, that's yeah. They used to have great summer programs over there. I don't know about now.
Don't try to big time it, sir. I got a ball to pick with you. Don't try to big time it, sir. Hey, I'm on my way to Knoxville. After I get out the Y, it's kind of hard to be at the Y and go to the Knoxville at the same time.
I was wondering about that, but yeah.
Yeah, but I might talk to Danny White and see if I can get both Savage brothers. One color commentator for football who's already in the other one for basketball. How you feel about that? Would y'all lose Slay? Would you keep him? What would happen?
Oh, no. Look, Savage ain't going anywhere. So why would the other Savage go anywhere?
Right.
Well, here's let's speak things into existence.
Savage brothers.
If I get that, I just need basketball tickets, 2 tickets to the SEC tournament for the whole time it's in Nashville.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
And I need Kentucky tickets.
Only about $3,000.
For Tennessee and in Lexington.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
For the whole time that the tournament is in there.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. That's all I need. If I
you mean through
I think I know that.
Like 2030 something, man.
It's 2030. I thought you just meant next year, which is still expensive as hell.
No. Slay knows the truth. He wouldn't be where he was without me in the early mornings. He knows what's going on.
Very true.
So,
Shoot your shot, man.
Yeah, look here. I was in Knoxville years ago for Pat Summitt's first national championship anniversary, and I was with a lady Paul at the time. We won't mention her name. She may be listening. And I was anxious to meet Bruce Pearl, but who I met was Pat Summitt. And when I met Pat Summitt, you know when you think you're ready to meet somebody? And Don, correct me if this is the right word. It's a je ne sais quoi. French, for something special. I was ready to run through a wall for her. I realized that Pat Summitt could coach NFL, NBA.
Oh, yeah. She could do it all.
Hockey.
Yeah.
She could run for president. I was in her office, and I was a little shocked. Her office was cluttered with a bunch of stuff. She had pictures of Michael Jordan, all these dignitaries. And when I met her, it was unbelievable. I wanted to talk to you guys to see, have you ever met somebody that they just had a special something that you knew?
This is what I've always said about her.
Je ne sais quoi.
Je ne sais quoi is I don't know why, I think. I took like 8 years of French. I think that's what that means. I don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
That's what je ne sais quoi means.
Oh, okay.
But I wanted to ask you
I could be
guys,
wrong.
have you ever met somebody?
She has that. I don't know why, but it's something to
Yeah,
it.
yeah. You could go with that.
It is correct.
It's
yes.
funny that you say that, Casey. This is the one part, like, doing this job for, since 1997. So what is that? Almost 30 years.
Whew.
I've met a lot of people, right?
Yes.
That is the one person where you could feel her presence in the room. But she also is very disarming. Mm-hmm. So, like, you feel her, but then you're, like, right there with her. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Yeah. Je ne sais quoi. Mm-hmm. But you're dead on right, Casey.
But I wanted to know if you guys had met anybody quite like that. There was something about them that you couldn't really explain, but you knew that they were. And I know you guys have met quite a few people. You guys probably have met as many people as Don has, because Don has met so many people, of course.
This is very true.
But just mention some of the people maybe you guys have come across who just had a little something else, and I'll hang up on this.
Okay. Casey, is it arm day, leg day? What are we doing? Cardio?
Hey man, I'm old, bro. I just do arms, and And look here, I don't want to be strong. I just want to look strong. If that makes sense.
See, I do the same thing as Slay says. That's a prison workout.
No, just want to look strong. Don't have to be strong.
That's right, Casey. Dude, I'm with you on all parts of this phone call. All of it. Arms and shoulders,
right,
man.
guys.
See you, dude.
We've talked about that before. Like when you walk in a room and meet certain people, I saw it with Philip Fulmer. And it's hard to explain unless you've done it, unless you've seen it. Like the people actually have like an aura, like a light around them.
You felt
so
that with
weird.
Philip Fulmer?
It's so weird. Coach Fulmer,
Coach Summit, sure. Pat Summit for sure.
For sure. But it's after they've established themselves. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not early on.
Pat's could have been early.
Yeah.
But like
I feel like Bruce's is now. Bruce has one now.
Right. Nick Saban has that.
Saban has one.
Yeah, but I don't know if Nick Saban would have had that
At
30
LSU.
years ago.
Yeah, or
right?
when he went to Miami. He might not have had it.
I think he probably had it then too. But you're right. Like,
My bad.
yeah, before they were
Me and Blaine met
special.
Yeah.
Nick Saban in the Titans locker room for some reason.
What was he doing there?
I have no idea, but me and Blaine and I took a picture with him.
That's random.
Yeah, you
Was
can feel
he was
you can
seeing
feel
some
him
of
too.
his former players. I'm assuming.
Dion had one when I met
what he was
Dion.
doing.
It made
Prime?
me, yeah, Coach Prime. I told him immediately. We was at Pac-Man's wedding, and I told him when he was walking by, I was like, "Hey,
It's a hell of a
listen,
scene.
man, I don't really do this, but man, I gotta get a picture with you."
What about Morgan Freeman?
Morgan Freeman is another one. Morgan Freeman was another one. Yeah, it's some people that just captivate you. It's and I understand what the awe moment is, like when you really have to like pick your jaw up and say,
What did Dion say to you when you said
"Oh yeah, come on, brother." I said, "Oh, let's do it." Took about 3 or 4 pictures. Yeah, it was pretty dope. That was real dope.
Huh.
I was like, man, I still got that picture somewhere. I think I saved it on my computer, on my hard drive, so I wouldn't lose it on the phone.
Lethal Latin said in the chat, I saw Pat at MTSU, and when she walked into the gym, everyone went silent. There was a special aura.
She's got
about
that.
her.
She got that. Coach Smith has that. Steve Smith from Oak Hill, he has that. Yeah, he always tries to deny that he has it, but he has it as well.
He tries to deny it.
Yeah, like
He's trying to be humble.
yeah, come on, dog.
I got it. 615-737-1045. If you want to throw up somebody you met that you can feel their presence, you can do it in the chat. The F&M Bank chat is open. YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitter, and Twitch.
Twitch, please.
Yeah, Nick Saban was he's a pocket person, that guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's tiny. I'll try to find that picture and put it out. By the way, last
I know a
night
couple
people were
people like
complaining that we didn't put the pictures comparing.
I know I had the Dooley picture, but I never got the Zeph picture.
Yeah, Zeph hid. He wouldn't
I
hid.
didn't hide. I was here the entire time.
Yeah, but you immediately changed your hair.
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
I have
you did.
I have headphones on, and I take them on and off, and they mess my
It
hair
doesn't
up.
look the same as it did yesterday.
Sure don't.
NBA playoffs, Western Conference Finals. Game 1 is tonight.
Get him, Alyssa.
Timberwolves play the Thunder in Oklahoma City. OKC is favored, Slay by 7.5, 7:30 on ESPN. How do you break this one down?
Man, this is a tough one.
You were talking about matchups.
yeah, it's
So
a
do you
tough one
think
to
it'll
break
be kind of easy to tell, like based on matchups, or NBA games are so game to game anyway?
Right. Me immediately, I'm going with OKC. 1, because it's at home. 2, I don't trust Julius Randle in this matchup because playing against Golden State was banged up. He took advantage of it like he was supposed to. He smelled blood in the water and he attacked, which was great. Like he damn near averaged a triple-double, had a triple-double a few games. But I do think that OKC has the young athletic talent and guards and size to throw at a guy like Anthony Edwards, where that makes a guy like Julius Randle have to step up, Mike Conley have to step up, the young guys, Rudy Gobert has his presence. So I'm going with OKC, man, just because they're playing at home and they wear teams down, man, and they are okay with sharing the sugar, and they understand that we got a guy that can close at the end of games in SGA. So I'm
Sharing
rolling
the
with them.
sugar.
Yeah, that's
I
a
like
little old
that.
throwback one right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going with OKC. What was the spread though?
7.5. That's a little too much for me.
I just don't know game one.
In a game 1. Yeah.
Game 1, yeah, that's
I'm going to stay away from it.
because I think one thing Minnesota they don't have give up in them. They fight. You know what I mean? Even if they're getting blown out, they still fight. But OKC, boy, they were really good.
Really good. Eastern Conference Finals tomorrow, game 1. Pacers and Knicks in New York, Madison Square Garden. Knicks favored by 4.5. TNT, 7 o'clock tomorrow night.
I think the Pacers got a better team, top to bottom. With the young guys they got, Nesmith coming from Vanderbilt, being able to understand his role. Even Ben Shepherd being able to come in and play spot minutes, but their guys, Pascal Siakam, Tyrese Halliburton, Miles Turner, the big fella coming off the bench. Golly, I forgot his name. Thomas O'Brien, him being able to throw bodies at Karl Anthony Towns. Will he step up? He was okay last series. Will he step up is no question. Jalen Brunson will do what he's supposed to do, but that young depth, man, and Rick Carlisle being there before.
What I've noticed about Brunson, and I didn't really, I'm not the guy that watches during the regular season, tremendous amounts of NBA ball, but during the postseason, I watch it all.
Mm-hmm.
Brunson seems like to me in the first quarter, he's getting everybody else involved. Mm-hmm. And a lot of first quarters, he'll score like 2-4 points. But then he still ends up with like 29. So
yeah, he's just reading the defense, taking what they give him, getting guys involved.
Just feeling it out.
Yeah, and I mean, if they play him one-on-one, he's going to get more shots. But a lot of times they load up, send help, and until that breaks down, which is the latter part of the game, then he's not even looking for a shot like that. So
NHL
to get people involved.
NHL playoffs in the East. Game 1, Florida and Carolina tonight at 7 o'clock on TNT. Carolina is a minus 130 favorite. Panthers looking to go back-to-back. They won in 7 games last year over Edmonton, who's also still alive. They've been in a Stanley Cup final in back-to-back years. Carolina won it in 2006. So all 4 teams that are left in the Stanley Cup playoffs have won it before, which is interesting. So game 1 in the Western Conference Final is tomorrow night at 7 on ESPN. Edmonton at Dallas. Stars a minus 125 favorite. Edmonton lost to Florida in the Stanley Cup Final last year. Edmonton has not been in the final since 2006 when they lost to Carolina, oddly enough. Edmonton hasn't won it since 1990. Dallas was last in it in 2000. They lost to New Jersey. They won it in 1999. So those are the things that are going on. We'll get into some Titans football. They met with the media today. Brian Callahan, you'll hear from the head coach next. 3HL 1045 The Zone.
If you are maxed out on credit cards and you've got this high interest debt going on, guess what? You can pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's help and their rapid equity loan. Get cash out now without touching your low rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS here. The rapid equity loan program at Loan Pronto's amazing. They had one client that got $300,000 approved and out in under 24 hours, paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That is a huge turnaround. Loan Pronto with instant approvals, low rates, and no hard credit pull up front. Call Loan Pronto now. Your home equity is yours. Use it for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get out today. Loan Pronto is an A-plus rated business by the Better Business Bureau. They have nearly 2,500 five-star Google reviews. Their service off the charts. I know we use them to get cash out and do a backyard project. Call now to start the conversation at 615-499-5780. LoanPronto.com at 615-499-5780. LoanPronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. On approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
What's happening, y'all? This is the opportunity that you've been looking for because you had an accident against a big truck that was probably out here just moseying on down the street, not paying attention, probably looking straight ahead and didn't notice, hey, this is a big truck sitting up high. This car's beneath me. They're pulling out. They have the right of way. Boom, 80,000 pounds of truck collides. Old regular car like yours. You think that's a fair fight? No, that's the answer. What else is not a fair fight? You versus the insurance companies. That's why Bart Durham Injury Law is there for you. You better believe trucking companies have teams of lawyers working to pay you as little as possible. That's where Bart Durham Injury Law comes in. Blair Durham and his team know how to take on trucking companies and fight for the compensation that you deserve. They've been standing up for people in our community for decades, making sure big corporations don't get away with cutting corners. Now, if you or someone you love has been in a big truck accident, don't go at it alone. Call 615-242-9000. That is 615-242-9000. Bart Durham Injury Law. Protecting the injured, fighting for what's right because you deserve to be paid.
3HL 104.5 The Zone. Chris Lowe headed this way in just a few minutes. He arrived in town. I said, and he checked into his hotel, and I said, you understand AC/DC got pushed back to tomorrow, right? And he goes, I just heard. So he didn't hear until he got to Nashville.
Oh, I bet there's quite a few people.
There's a bunch of people that don't know. Or maybe they just found out.
To us.
Yeah, maybe they just found out when we just said this.
All y'all got to do it. Make sure, listen, y'all, at 3 o'clock, your radio's got to be on 3HL. Like, this is much more than just a sports show. Y'all ain't got it yet, man. Like, y'all, stay behind. Stay behind. It's like them bringing back free lunch programs and you don't even know it. You just still packing your lunch. You could be eating free lunch, y'all.
I mean, we've had 4 pieces of breaking news, and we're 47 minutes into the show.
Come on, Zell. Tell them how you producing.
These storms are producing tornadoes, potentially. Nashville severe weather. Nash Severe WX on Twitter. Tornado warning for Hickman County, just to our southwest. Here are the ETAs. Let's see. Franklin, 4:27 p.m. Well, let me start here. Fairview at 4:15. Thompson Station, 4:23. Franklin, 4:27. Brentwood, 4:36. Please alert people that may not be listening or paying attention. Melrose and Berry Hill, 4:39. Nolensville, 4:40. Antioch, 4:43. BNA, 4:44. Murfreesboro, 4:56. Mount Juliet, 4:56. Lebanon, 5:10. That's where this current storm is headed. So things are popping up in advance of the line of severe weather that has just crossed into West Tennessee. We will keep you updated. 615-737-1045 if you want in at 3HL 1045. Quarterback reps are evenly split right now, Coach Callahan said. He said it's pretty standard.
Yeah. I mean, why not?
When they go to 7-on-7s, things will change. Zeph Dog, you got the audio from that?
Right now, it's all evenly split. We're not competing right now. It'll change probably a little bit when we get to the actual OTAs and we got 7-on-7 and some teamwork and stuff like that. But right now, there's really not going against anybody, so we just roll through it. They're probably roughly about even all the way through, which is pretty standard for this time of year.
Yeah.
AKA, don't ask me that dumb
What's
question
funny, though,
right now.
is if you just go on social media and you see like all these national people, Titans are splitting reps. Have you seen that? I've seen that from national
Are they
guys.
trying to make a big deal about it?
Yes. And then Buzzing when the boys did it. I'm like, Taylor, you know what's going on, man. So the way they presented it was Titans quarterbacks are splitting reps. Will Cam Ward start game 1? I'm like,
Really?
come on, y'all.
We're not even to OTAs yet.
Which is what he said. He being Brian Callahan. Speaking of Callahan, did they learn anything from handling Levis in terms of being a day one starter last year? And does that influence them on how they are handling Cam Ward?
Yeah, I think we're all parts of, our experiences lead us to how we operate, and you live and you learn through some of them. You make adjustments, you grow, you do things differently, and certainly there's parts of that I learned lessons in, and I've learned to move forward, and you try to grow and do it better the next time. I think that's everybody's goal, coaches, players. I think humans in general try to do that. So, yeah, there's definitely parts of that I think we could have done a better job, and our job is to do it better the next time, and so that's where we're at.
Remember, because last year they were like, Will Levis was a starting quarterback.
Well, also, it was Mason Rudolph.
He was.
Who might be the starter for the Steelers, so I better not say anything. But
you can make that argument this year, too. Like, it's Cam Ward and Will Levis.
I don't know.
If there's going to be a competition there, then
I tell you what, y'all.
we got problems.
What I want the people to do is I want the people to stand up and go argue that case.
Argue what case?
That is Cam Ward and Will Levis.
That there should be a competition or should not be a competition?
That there is or there should be. Because it's not.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, I'm agreeing with you.
I thought you were disagreeing with it.
Where are those people that want to get up there and argue that? Because
The head coach will argue with you.
Yeah, for now. For now, he got to
Because he thinks he
June.
needs to.
When does training camp start? Late June? Early July?
July, I think.
And so what we in? May? Oh, yeah, he ain't got long. He can keep this little charade going for another month and a half. This will all be done.
That would be charade. No, it's Sherrod.
I'm going to say Sherrod. Who is Sherrod Ford? That's my guy. Shout out
I was
Sherrod.
channeling Hangover. Brian Callahan, how are Cam and Will Levis handling the quarterback room competition?
They both handled it really well. I've been pleased with their demeanor and their approach. Will's done a really nice job of getting better at things he needed to get better at. I felt really pretty good about his offseason work and how he's come back, bless you. Cam has done a really nice job of integrating himself. And a lot of that is just knowing the play call, being able to spit it out in the huddle, having the tempo, getting familiar with the receivers and what the words mean and how to call it and how your snap count sounds. All that stuff has been really well done on his part. So they've both done a really nice job getting up to speed where they needed to. Both had different things that they're trying to get accomplished. But I'm happy with where that's at.
I love how he elaborates.
He does elaborate.
Both quarterbacks have been professional coming in. Let's get some work done. See you, bye. I like it.
How have they handled it? Great. It's like when you pass somebody in the hall, it's like, how are you doing today? And I mean, has anyone ever said not really well? And just kept walking.
Some people, but then you get annoyed by those people because you're like, I wasn't trying to have a conversation with you. I was just trying to be nice.
Yeah, just say, I'm good to you.
Yeah, a couple people in our hallway we do that with.
Somebody came in here yesterday. I forget who it was. Like, Slay, you doing okay? And you're like, no.
Yeah, Smiley asked me. I'm like, dude, no, I'm not. But I'm straight, though.
Yeah.
I'm
I don't need anything further. I'm just telling you, no.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Put me on your prayer list at church.
Yeah. When I came in, Babsy like that one.
I never can tell what's going to fly with her.
Yeah. When I came in, he hit me with, Slay, you want a piggyback ride to the studio?
Today?
From the door.
What an odd thing to say.
You know what I told him?
Who said that?
Smiley.
Smiley might die trying to get you up
No,
here.
I also told him a grown man on grown man's back on the way to the studio. Nah, Smiley, I'll pass. If I
That was
hop,
very nice of him, though.
No, if I got to hop, I'm getting there. I don't want no damn.
That wasn't a
ride.
real question. He didn't expect Slay to say yes.
Oh, I think he did. I think him and Ross had a bet because Ross started laughing like I told you.
Oh, man. All right. You'll hear more from Brian Callahan a little bit later. Also, Tony Pollard, Dan Moore, Van Jefferson, Cody Barton. Cody Barton was good, y'all. This dude wants to hit people.
You found
He's very charismatic.
So we got an inside linebacker, Babsy.
Oh, I like him now.
Whatever.
I like him now.
Okay, he's charismatic. That
I like him now.
Guess who else is charismatic?
Me.
Dr. Gibby. I promise.
Was he?
Absolutely. I covered
I
a
never-
Minnesota game when he played there after he transferred from, I do this every time, Abilene Christian, I think, was it?
Something like that.
Whatever. Anyway.
North Texas.
No, it was not North Texas. It was like.
If you played Dr.
don't even know.
If Zeph played Dr. Gibby through our speakers right now, through the headphones, I would not be able to tell you who it was.
I know. I'm just telling you, he's charismatic too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Babsy.
Now, that doesn't mean he's a bad A linebacker.
Why are you trying to be a wet blanket? I got all excited
Okay.
about Cody Barton, and now
Okay.
you just dogged me.
I'm sorry. Oh, man.
More 3HL next.
Sorry. All right. When you have somebody on your roof checking it or maybe replacing your roof, you want to make sure you have a company you can trust. And there's a lot that sets North Point Roofing Systems apart from their competitors. And one of them is their awesome free drone inspection. Now that we have more storms coming in, especially tonight, some of them with hail in them, make sure that you keep this website, northpointroofingsystems.com, in your phone because they will come out and do a free drone inspection, diagnose using AI drone technology. So they'll look at the health of your roof. Nobody has to get on your roof. You don't risk them damaging the roof further. And a lot of roofers have drones, but with North Point Roofing Systems, they also have this special software technology that diagnoses the roof versus just watching or looking at the images themselves. So 75 to 100 photos, 3D model. They take all the measurements, detects hail and wind damage, a non-biased opinion on weather damage. And so you know that you can trust them. They will guide you to protection. Put this website in your phone and reach out to them for a free drone inspection. NorthPointRoofingSystems.com.
Good afternoon. It's 4:01. I'm just not live from the 104.5 The Zone studios. From the NFL owners meetings today, NFL owners have officially voted to permit players to participate in the flag football at the 2028 Summer Olympics in Los Angeles. The vote won 32-0. Former Tennessee basketball star Zakai Ziegler has filed a lawsuit against the NCAA seeking a fifth year of eligibility to compete in the 2025-26 season. The lawsuit alleges that NCAA's rule permitting only 4 seasons of competition within the 5-year eligibility window is an unlawful restraint of trade under the federal and state antitrust laws. The Ziegler and their case are saying that Zakai could make anywhere between $2 and $4 million in NIL valuation. Tennessee baseball's first matchup in the SEC tournament is set as they will face off against 9-seed Alabama tomorrow morning at 9:30, weather depending. The winner will go on to face top-seeded Texas on Thursday. For our foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Balls. This is 104.5 The Zone.
HL 104.5 The Zone weather situation evolving. Nashville Severe WX, Nash Severe WX on Twitter. Supercell approaching Williamson County, showing giant hail. We think it's attempting to drop a tornado. Let's see. Estimated times for Williamson County with this storm. Fairview 4:08, so that's 5.5 minutes. Y'all get in your safe space. Seriously. Thompson Station 4:15, Franklin 4:18, Brentwood Babsy 425, Slay 425 for Brentwood. Creve Hall 428, Nolensville 429, Antioch 432, BNA, the airport 433, Laverne 435, Murfreesboro 443, same with Mount Juliet, Lebanon 454. And we will keep you updated as we roll. Let me see if there's updated information. Possible severe thunderstorm warning has been issued. Possible tornado damage threat considerable. Wind 70 miles per hour. Radar indicated. Hail 1.75 inches for Davidson, Dixon, Hickman, Murray, Williamson until 5 p.m. Central Time. Let's see. Radar estimates hail sizes of 3 inches and more in Hickman County on the way to Williamson County. Those along and near 840, get off the road.
All right.
Yeah, this is serious, y'all. Again, NashvilleSevereWeather.com, Nash Severe WX. Spotter confirms golf ball hail dropping out of the supercell on the way to Williamson County. This is where we are. So, again, this is coming up on, let me go back through this list. Fairview 408. So you got about 3 minutes in Fairview. And then Franklin 418, Brentwood 425. Nolensville 429, Murfreesboro 443, and we'll keep you updated. Brent Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slay with you on a very stormy Tuesday afternoon in Music City. The AC/DC concert has been postponed until tomorrow at Nissan Stadium. Chris Lowe is here from ESPN.com in studio. You just found out as you pulled into Nashville?
Yeah, sure did. I had a feeling we probably were going to be here when it was all said and done, looking at the forecast. And, boy, I'm like you guys. I sure hope everybody can stay safe out there.
Don't mess with these things.
Yeah,
man.
Get inside somewhere. I've had the misfortune of being in some bad storms. I think a lot of people here in this area, it seems like this area, Alabama, more and more really nasty storms have been rolling through here over the last several years. But, yeah, get your kids, your loved ones, and get somewhere safe.
And think about people that might be, I don't know, elderly or something that may not be paying attention.
Check on them. Call them. Yep.
Well, we're glad you're here. You made it in town before all of this happened. And so you going to stay for the show tomorrow?
Oh, yeah, man. I'm not going to come into town, even though I like seeing you guys. I like the Music City.
Good time.
But not hang around and watch Angus and Brian Johnson and the boys rock the house. Slay, you going?
You know what, CeeLo? I'm not.
How about you, Dawn? You're not an AC/DC fan?
Not really my cup of tea, CeeLo.
How about you, Brett?
I love them. I would love to go. My problem is I never know when concerts are coming. I only knew this concert was happening because you told me that you were coming.
Well, I've been looking for a year or two. There were rumors that they were going to tour, and I was afraid they were going to only tour over in Europe. And they have already hit Europe. They're going to go back to Germany and Czech Republic. And then I heard they were going to do like 9 or 10 dates in the States, and was hoping that maybe Atlanta. I really didn't think about Nashville. I thought maybe Atlanta if they were in the South. And when I saw they were coming to Nashville, I'm going to name drop here. Our good friend Scott Ramsey.
Hey,
Our good friend, my buddy Scott Ramsey hooked me up, got me in touch with somebody to get some good seats, and now I paid for him.
Yeah.
But I want to give a shout out to Mr. Ramsey.
Well, it's like I love Pearl Jam, and then
He's
Pearl
the
Jam
best.
did 2 nights, and I didn't even know they were here until the day of. I'm so bad about that stuff, and I love concerts.
I've been looking. I've been searching for if AC/DC was going to be somewhere near. And I feel sorry. I got a lot of friends that I know that were flying in from Florida,
wow.
from Atlanta, from all over. One out close to Texas, in the Texas area, was flying in for this concert today, flown in this morning. Wow. So I guess they're going to be spent. I hope their returns are flexible, but I can promise you, knowing how big of fans they are, they're going to hang around. But no, I'd been looking for this to see if they were going to tour. As soon as I saw they were coming to Nashville,
That was it.
I was making calls because for 45. I saw them 45 years ago.
Gosh.
Are you serious?
45. I was like 16. I had to go ride with some older. I couldn't drive. It was up in Charlotte, the old Charlotte Coliseum, East Independence Boulevard.
So you grew up in South Carolina,
where
Rock Hill,
Slade's
right?
boy Tony White used to rock the house.
So you were from Rock Hill. How far is that?
From downtown Charlotte, 25 minutes.
Oh.
Yeah.
I got you.
It's like a bedroom community.
You didn't see Led Zeppelin, did you?
No, never. I'm not that old, but I did see. It was actually their Back in Black tour, and my ears, I couldn't hear anything for a week. So I'm 60 now. So I bet you I won't be able to hear anything for like 2 months. But I'm looking forward to it. They are. I think when you start talking about rock bands, Led Zeppelin, the Beatles, Rolling Stones.
Foo Fighters goes in that group to me. Like they're really
But they're like more recent.
yeah, but they rock like that, and like you don't have a lot of that now.
True.
But if you ask me who is the most underrated rock and roll band of all time, who rocks the loudest and just absolutely blows the roof off, it's AC/DC. Their Back in Black album still, I think
It's incredible.
I think Thriller, Michael Jackson's Thriller, is the one of maybe 2 albums that sold more copies ever than Back in Black.
Wow. That's tough.
I think Boys to Men was the other one because Boys to Men eclipsed Michael Jackson's Thriller.
Yeah, so it's right up there.
Yeah.
Back in Black's right up there. And again, I saw their tour.
Now they don't do it based
Their
on
Back in
that,
Black
so-
tour in 1980. It was 80, 81, right in that range. And it's so 45 years later, Slay. I look the same. My jump shot's still as sweet as it ever was.
Still rolling through, baby.
Nashville
All the
WX.
connections.
Franklin and Cool Springs residents should immediately garage loved cars as hail moves closer. Looking out for you. Let's start with Zakai Ziegler's lawsuit. So we were talking about this before this segment began. Is this just a kind of a way to expedite what's already out there, but it feels like they're dragging their feet where athletes could all have 5 years no matter what?
Well, Zakai won't be the only one to do this. There'll be a lot of people trying to get that 5th year. And again, his stance is, or his attorney's stance is, that there's that proposal out there that athletes should have 5 years anyway to play. Mm-hmm. Zakai didn't redshirt. He only played 4 years, so why should I not automatically get that 5th year?
Yeah.
It's a violation of antitrust, all that type of stuff. As we've talked about on this show over and over again, it gets down to now, we all follow sports, but you better be an attorney in this day and age if you can figure it all out, because there's going to be so many court battles and listen, hey, take a shot. It ain't going to hurt.
It definitely ain't going to hurt.
And there'll be others that will follow suit. And I'll say, look at Tennessee's role over the last 3 or 4 years and how things have changed. Go all the way back to Jeremy Pruitt. Jeremy Pruitt got popped for what the NCAA said was $68,000 of impermissible benefits.
Yeah.
Think about how your boy Ament just got $3.2 million to play.
That was lunch.
And they
68.
and they
literally
run
was lunch.
They run Pruitt out, and Tennessee gets off from having to pay the $12 million buyout that they owed him, and they're rolling. They were out front in NIL. They went and paid Nico Iamaleava $2 million when he was still in high school. And the NCAA was coming after him. They were going to rule him ineligible. They had already previewed the notice of allegations, and Tennessee says, whoa. State Attorney General, we're going to sue the NCAA. You cannot enforce anything NIL related. So Virginia was a part of that suit too. They back off. The NCAA has no teeth. And then 2 years later, Nico try to get more. They want $4 million. His family does. Tennessee says, not going to pay that kind of cash. So he goes off to UCLA, and now here we are with Tennessee the state saying, you can't cap us in this new house settlement deal. We'll pay what we want to pay. And state rules are trump any kind of rules at the NCAA. And now the NCAA is saying the 4 power conferences are saying, you got to sign this document. If you don't sign this document, we might kick you out of the conference,
let's dive into that.
Which is BS.
Let's dive into that when we come back. Tornado warning issued for Benton County, Carroll County, Franklin County, Hickman County. We will keep you updated. 615-737 if you want, 737-1045 if you want in. Talking college athletics, that's a huge story that came down yesterday. The NCAA trying to get out in front of some of this legislation and basically threatening to kick Tennessee and Vanderbilt out of the SEC. We'll be right back. 3HL.
What's happening, y'all? KellumStemCellInstitute.com is where you need to head to. A lot of inflammation happening, and guess what? You got an opportunity to get it out. Your body, your cells, your solution is what you're going to use. And how would you use it? You get that extracted. That's what Dr. Kellum does. You go in there, you have a consultation. First of all, you set it up with 615-850-4415. That's the number you would set this consultation up with. And know that you're in great hands. I did the same exact thing. Matter of fact, you've been hearing me telling you about my knee was swelling, this, that, and the other. Just went in there and got probably about 30, what is it, cc's?
Yeah, it was a lot.
cc's of fluid poured out of my knee. I don't know how I got there, what it did, but hey, it's gone now. And I also got here with the A2M. The A2M, man, will bring you back. It's something new that you need to go get your consultation for so you can get inflammation out of your body. It's redeployed based on your needs, so a direct hit. I did 2 in my knee, 1 in my shoulder. I am back. So guaranteed. I promise you that. Go get your own testimony with KellumStemCellInstitute.com.
By the way, the National Weather Service thinks the hail could be about the size of a baseball as the cell moves into Williamson County. It should set off your phones because the hail is so big. That update from Nashville Severe Weather. eSpaces, I want to tell you about my buddy John Pirtle, president and CEO of eSpaces. Met with him a few weeks ago about his phenomenal company, and you need to get to know them. eSpaces.com is the website, and they are redefining co-working with exceptional offices for every business. 2 new Middle Tennessee locations opening this July. Cool Springs at Corporate Center and Brentwood at City Park. eSpaces, designed for entrepreneurs, teams, and established professionals, featuring private offices, team suites, meeting rooms fully equipped, 24/7 access, flexible terms, beautiful professional spaces that are move-in ready. Whether you're scaling up or just getting started, eSpaces provides flexibility without compromise long-term or for the day. Whatever you need, check them out. Tours available now. Reserve your space early. Visit eSpaces.com. 15 locations. You can see them all online. Again, eSpaces.com. That's eSpaces.com. 3HL 1045, The Zone. Brent Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slay. Severe weather out there, man. They're talking about baseball-sized hail in Williamson County.
Oof.
And let me reiterate, this is a storm cell in front of the line of storms, which is out west of Jackson. That's going to hit Mississippi, Tennessee, and Kentucky. That line is huge. This is something popping up in front of.
In front of that.
Really weird because it's dark, but then I look over in the distance and there's like white clouds, blue sky, white clouds.
Go to your home, little tornado.
Go to your home.
Go to your home.
Did you? We were talking about Zakai Ziegler's lawsuit, kind of trying to expedite this whole idea that we all think that the NCAA is going to do this, give everybody 5 years of eligibility, and he's trying to make sure that it doesn't happen right after he can't do it.
Right.
Right. So trying to expedite the situation a little bit. What was your question, Babs?
Is he going to win?
I'd say the deck stacked against him, but I don't think it's impossible. I mean, again, there are going to be a lot of kids trying to do this, and it's already out there on the table that that kids would get 5 years, and that way you sort of, whether you play junior college or whatever, you got 5 years to play. And I think that's what Zakai said. Listen, I didn't redshirt.
Right.
And so if we're going to go 5 years, why don't I get a fifth year? I played just 4 years. Go ahead.
I walked away when I was in Turkey. Mind you, Turkey was not Tennessee, and it was not University of Tennessee. And I remember sitting in my apartment saying, man, I got cheated, man. So in high school, I played 3.5 years. So you're supposed to get 8 semesters. I played 7 in high school. When I got to college, because I tore my ACL, it was the exact same thing. So I was like, man, I got cheated, dog. So I should have went. I was thinking I should have redshirted.
I was going to say you didn't redshirt and get another year.
I should have just got an extra year.
I mean, would you play at Oak Hill 1 year or 2?
Play 1.
You could have taken a medical,
but that didn't count against you, right?
No, it didn't count against. So coming out of 8th grade out of West End, me and Terry Reynolds both. He was at Overton. He didn't play the first semester. I got held back in the 8th grade, so I missed the first semester because of tardies. Not because of grades, but because of tardies. I was tardy too much. So they held me back the first semester. So I missed the first semester of basketball going into my freshman year. So I played the second semester and then treated my sophomore year like it was my freshman year.
I think we're going to get to a point where there is a 5 years eligibility.
Yeah,
will it be, will Zakai and his attorney, Marco Scarza there in Knoxville, be able to argue it to a point where it happens? Because what he's asked for is an immediate injunction where he can turn around and play
right now
this coming year. Yeah. Is it going to happen that fast? I don't think so. I hope for Zakai's case it does.
Injunctions are awarded randomly anyway.
Yeah, you're right. Whoever knows. And it depends on sometimes the judge. Maybe they get, a vol for life. Who rules in that case? I don't know.
I go take the bar, going to be a lawyer, and then going to fast track to a judge just to make it happen.
Well, as I pointed out, Don, Tennessee attorneys, for the most part, now they did not rule in Alberto as soon as behalf.
Yeah,
they ruled against him.
That thing's completely dead, right?
Yeah. Well, they're almost done.
Yeah.
Of course, knowing Tony and his team, they'll go and win the World Series again after they played pretty poorly the last month and a half. But
yeah, just ask Slay about it.
They suck.
I don't think it can turn around this fast. But I'm not an attorney. I wish I was. Well, I tell you what, man. Right now, it's all about billable hours, brother. That is the key phrase in college athletics.
So how is this one different than Diego Pavia's?
Well, because the way it's explained to me is Diego's was before this, and he had already transferred, was going to transfer, and then Alberto's was at a couple different schools. It's a good question though, because I don't have the legal chops to really answer that.
Yeah.
And I think that's exactly what Alberto's attorney argued.
Yeah.
The same thing you just asked me. What's different? And I'll say this. I've talked to Greg Sankey about this, and I asked him that very question. What's the difference between Alberto Osuna's case and Diego Pavia's case? How is it different? And he says, well, they got it wrong with Diego Pavia.
Well,
Oh, wow.
Okay,
Because
there you go.
that's interesting. Tennessee's defense would have been a lot better had Osuna been cleared.
Well, and
They're bad in the infield, man.
Well, they are bad. They look like the Bad News Bears at times this year.
When in big moments too.
Yeah,
It's not like nobody out, nobody on. Here's a wild throw to first. It's like winning run at first, missed throw to second that goes into the outfield, lose.
Here's my. I'm not Sparky Anderson. I know I'm dating myself. I know a lot of people out there saying, "Who the hell is Sparky Anderson?"
Detroit
You know who
Tigers.
Sparky Anderson is, Slay?
No.
How about you, Babs?
No.
He was the architect of the Big Red Machine, man, back
He
in the late
was.
70s.
And then he
late
went to the
70s.
Tigers, and he had Lou Whitaker and Alan Trammell.
But if you do three things consistently, or don't do three things consistently in baseball, A, play shoddy defense and can't field ground balls. B, you can't hit with runners in scoring position.
That's huge, folks.
And C, you give up leads or you can't stand up and deliver out of the bullpen late in games. You do those three things consistently, you're not going to do real well.
I do.
all things they struggle with. Yeah, I had a coach tell me one time, field all of the routine plays on defense and half of the exceptional plays, and you're good.
Well, I mean, if they had just fielded some of the routine plays, and then go back to the first game of the LSU series,
Oh,
they're 3-0 ahead going the ninth inning. Liam Dodd pitched a masterpiece,
Right.
and they make errors on
Six.
back-to-back ground balls and walked somebody. That's the other thing. They've had some key walks in certain situations. They're good enough and talented enough. I don't know if they can turn it around, but they're good enough and talented enough. And Tony has a way. You know,
Doggone it, people love
2 years ago they were on the road, both the regional and the super regional.
Yep.
Won both and got to the World Series. And they had some younger guys on that team. That was before Christian Moore was Christian Moore and Blake Burke was Blake Burke. I don't know that this team has that kind of pop, though, in their bats. We'll find out.
Ryan Shumpert with a good tweet from RockyTopInsider.com. He says the guy Ziegler's lawsuit argues that the 4 seasons rule terminates Ziegler's market access when it is at its highest.
Right.
The lawsuit claims that Ziegler could make between $2 and $4 million playing college basketball next year.
And that's what they'll argue. They'll argue that.
Quote, an irreparable injury to his economic interest, end quote.
And it's all going to go back to that. It is a kid's inability to make what he sees as his market value.
You have to fight it that way.
Yeah, exactly. You're keeping Ron Slay from his fifth year, Zakai Ziegler from his fifth year of making $1 million+ because you're not letting him have that fifth year. That will be probably at the forefront of what they argue. Now, again, will he get that injunction quick enough to be able to play? I don't know. I can tell you one person. I can tell you one person who definitely hopes so, and that's Rick Barnes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially, that's I was just saying during the break, especially with Florida going to pick up Boogie Flan, all these people reloading throughout the SEC. You would need that. Kentucky is not the Kentucky from last year. So
It's a new world, and I think it's going to
man.
continue to change. Courtroom battles are going to be probably as important as battles on the floor, recruiting battles. How teams can figure out a way to, I don't want to say circumvent, but get creative in getting kids on campus. You look at what Tennessee has said. Oh, you can't penalize us. You know, as I said the other day, you guys are giving the big middle finger and said, listen, we got a state law says that supersedes anything that you guys are going to throw at us in this house settlement. Come get us. And if you try to say you're going to kick us, whether it's because this includes Memphis, Vandy, Tennessee, all of them, because they're part of the state of Tennessee. If you're going to try to kick us out of our conference, go ahead. We'll sue for antitrust violation. You're trying to cap. And I'm not saying I agree or disagree with any of this, but what they're going to say is you're trying to cap what a kid can make in this new house settlement.
Tornado warning, Benton County, Carroll County, Lawrence County, Lewis County, Murray County, Nash Severe WX. We remain concerned that the supercell could organize a tornado along South Williamson County, 840 toward College Grove. Preventing that has been ingestion of smaller cells, but it could end up strengthening along 840. That was at 425. So we'll keep you updated on the weather situation. Definitely keep your head on a swivel. All right, let's go to the big story. So should we start with the loss with what we were kind of talking about on Friday with regard to the state of Tennessee and what they were trying to do there and trying to get kind of on their own island with things?
Yeah, and I think we talked about this a little bit. Listen, other states aren't going to just sit there on their hands and let Tennessee be the only one that does this.
Have an advantage.
No way. I mean, come on.
With NIL.
You're keeping score, man. Anytime you're keeping score, people are going to be trying to figure out a way to get their advantage. And I think that's what's going on here. The power conferences are the ones under this new settlement. It sounds like they're going to be the ones that have control. Again, the four power conferences, Big 10, Big 12, SEC, and ACC. And they are going to be the ones that, quote unquote, enforce what you can give and what's NIL and what's not. Because the settlement says, and I don't want to repeat myself, you guys know the schools themselves can pay $20.5 million to athletes. Most of those schools, the Tennessees, the Georgias, the Bamas, the Ohio States, will use 14 or 15 of that for football, $3 million for basketball. But there's also the opportunity under the collective to pay players what is, quote unquote, and here's the key phrase here, fair market value over and above. So if the biggest car dealership here in Nashville wants to pay Ron Slay $100,000 every Saturday to show up for 30 minutes to sign autographs, is that fair market value?
Hell yeah. Yeah, it is. I'm sitting there listening to you, Lo, like, man, yes. I need that. Somebody take the first step. We need somebody to take that step.
You got affected by that Sakai line,
that was hey, man, listen, man, because
your brother even pointed that out. He heard it in you.
Yeah, if you ain't got to start right away in the professional lane, dog, and you can go back to school and get paid more than you would get paid in that profession. Man, give me that cushion.
So if we're fast forwarding to right now, what would Ramon Foster and Ron Slay make a year in NIL?
Ooh, we talk.
I don't know about Ramon because he's an offensive lineman, right?
That's true.
Sorry, Big Savage. I mean, But
meanwhile, Slay was high flying, dominating games.
Headband,
Slay would
what's the Ric Flair say? Headband wearing.
Yeah, that's right. You better know.
Throwing it off the backboard dunk.
Yeah.
Dunking.
Hey, man.
Pearl-Con legend.
I'm telling you, man, I would, man, and being from the state of Tennessee.
Right.
Like, and the thing you would have had to do.
What do you call yourself? The Tennessee
Mutt? Yeah, the Tennessee Mutt.
Yeah.
That's it, man. I'm Memphis ties, Chattanooga ties, and Knoxville and Nashville. Like, you got it all wrapped around. My thing is, man, you wouldn't have to worry about me. Boy, my mama going to be at the door. She's going to be at the door getting all kind of endorsements and everything. Lolita wouldn't have played that, boy. We would have, I'm telling you, would have been a different market.
I can still see like it was yesterday. We're at the Swamp. And you guys played them pretty close, but there was some iffy calls down the stretch. And we're in that little breezeway between locker rooms, and here come the officials. Teddy V was on that game, Teddy Valentine. Boy, Lolita was letting him have it.
Really?
What? Letting him have it. They had like security around him, and everything.
Teddy Valentine.
He wouldn't have stood a chance against Lolo either.
TV Teddy.
Ain't no
Ask Lolita. She that was epic. I remember that like it was yesterday, Slay.
Yeah.
That's so funny because she's come to our live remotes and says
and not even
nothing,
say anything to us.
Just like chills in the corner, hides.
The first time I saw her, she was over there talking to Slay, and then Slay came back. She left. I was like, "Who were you talking to?" He's like, "Oh, that was my mom." I was like, "Well, crap." So going from what Tennessee did to now what the power conferences are trying to do to react to that, to level the playing field. What are we dealing with there?
Well, and good question, because all this is contingent on the judge signing this House settlement bill, which she hadn't done yet.
Right, and may not do.
And I've had some people tell me, athletic administrators, people that, again, in the legal world, that they're not sure she ever will in this current state. She's already gone back and said, hey, I want to see you tweak this, she had an issue with roster numbers or limitations. I think that there's going to be a lot more battles out there, and who knows when and if she will sign this House settlement. So all these things we're talking about, Brent, about power conferences and Tennessee doing this, all this is contingent if indeed the House settlement, she signs the bill for that to go in effect.
If she signs it, then the power conferences, their goal is to get all of the member institutions within the power conferences to sign their document stating that everyone will play by the same rules, and if you don't sign it, then they can eliminate you from the conference, meaning Tennessee and Vanderbilt can get kicked out of the SEC.
Well,
theoretically.
Yeah, I think there's about as much chance of that happening as me going and pulling a sleigh here and throwing the ball off the backboard and dunking it.
Or you acting as lead singer for AC/DC.
That's true. Yeah. I don't have Brian Johnson's vocal cords. I don't ever see that happening, because what's going to happen is the schools in turn are going to turn around and they're going to sue and say, wait a minute. So you're saying that we got this state law and you're trying to cap what Ron Slay and Zakai Ziegler are making under this new House settlement? No, It's going to be the whole. It's a spinning circle. I'll tell you what.
What a mess.
I'll tell you what an AD in the league told me, and I won't say who today. We're talking about this morning. He said this is like watching a movie that's a 6-hour-long movie. What was Shawshank Redemption, like 3.5 hours?
Not long enough.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. It's like 4 hours.
It's a long one.
Careful, Babs. That's one of the greatest movies of all time.
I love it, too. But it was a long movie.
Red was here.
So imagine one that's 2 hours longer than that.
Yeah.
2:22 is what Zeph said.
And it goes in circles. The movie goes in circles and circles, and you're trying to figure it out. And finally, you get to like hour 5, and you're like, man, can't this thing just end finally?
Yeah.
That's sort of where we are now in college sports. It's going all proposals and court cases, and we're going to sue you, and no, you sue us, we're going to sue you. Nobody knows what it's going to look like. And Jay Billis, who's a heck of a lot smarter than me, was on this morning, I think, with one of my compadres, and he said what I agree with. And I know that college chancellors and presidents and some commissioners don't agree with this. I think if we're ever going to completely sort this out, we've got to get to a point where we collectively bargain. Athletes, payment models. Yeah. I just don't see any other way. Yeah, they become employees. I understand that. Contracts, all those things come into play. There will be unintended consequences if we do that. But until that point, I think we're going to be sitting what we're doing right now in this room, and we'll be talking in circles.
Yeah. Yep.
And everyone's suing and countersuing, and, well, you can't do that. We're going to sue states, trying to supersede what the NCAA is going to. Will the NCAA even be an entity 2 years from now?
They have zero power.
Not
zero, but
very little.
Limited.
Yeah.
I asked the coach during the end of the tournament, Slade, during the basketball tournament, I said, what could a school right now really get in trouble for? What would really just sort of lambaste a school for doing something wrong? And he said it would have to be some major, blatant, overt academic fraud scandal where they had...
Like North Carolina?
Oh, wait.
You mean those phony classes?
Right.
Yeah. That everybody, by the way, everybody in the university was taking them, so you can't just blame the basketball players.
Yep.
But it would have to be something like a orchestrated effort where you had a bunch of people taking tests or doing papers for a bunch of athletes in football or basketball, and they called them red-handed.
Yeah.
That's something I think still would be. But as far as payments, quote-unquote impermissible benefits, back when Georgia recruited Herschel Walker, the story where it was that they'd show up and have a brand new washer and dryer on his front porch there in Wrightsville, Georgia. You think that was impermissible benefit?
Just fall out the sky, man.
Those old coaches, man.
Yeah,
if
right
you ever
house.
run into an old football coach,
And they've
from
had,
back in the day,
they've had a couple pops.
Oh my gosh.
They tell some great stories.
I mean, the story that we hear from a specific person every time we run into him about the most illegally recruited player that he ever saw was Hartley Dykes, which was a wide receiver at Oklahoma State.
I've heard that. Yeah, and every school back
He said
then
he
has their
showed up
stories.
to recruit, and he had the last visit, and he showed up the last visit, and he had like an Oklahoma State Corvette, like colored Corvette in the driveway. He didn't even go in. He's like, over.
Wow.
Crazy. All right, more with Chris Lowe from ESPN.com when we come back. The latest, still a hail problem in Williamson County. Largest hail has now shifted south into Thompson Station. Franklin and Points North appear to have been spared the baseball so far, and then they updated that, re-upgrading the Williamson County storm for baseball-size hail, mostly for Franklin and Point South along Coleman Road, if you know where that is. That's south of Franklin, coming into Sullivan Farms and Ladd Park. Some specific neighborhoods there. We'll keep you updated. 615-737-1045. You want to talk college football with Chris Lowe? He's here for one more segment. 3HL 1045 The Zone.
Oh, we're talking about baseball size hail with some of these storms. And, you worry about your roof after the fact. Well, North Point Roofing Systems, who you need to call after this storm rolls through just to make sure your roof is okay. And here's the deal with North Point Roofing Systems. GAF Master Elite Roofer. Only the top 1% of roofers have this added training and this label. It's based off of background checks, training, all of that. Best warranty in the business as well. And North Point is your professional roofer. They will do free drone inspections. So make sure you keep the website for after these storms roll through and have them come out and do a free drone inspection. Not only do they use a drone, but they can diagnose the health of your roof using their AI drone technology. They'll take about 75 to 100 photos. They use a 3D model. It has all the measurements, detects hail and wind damage, a non-biased opinion on weather damage, and that makes it a lot easier when you're dealing with the insurance companies. So put this website in your phone, guiding you to protection. That's North Point Roofing Systems at northpointroofingsystems.com.
3HL 104.5 The Zone, talking some college football with Chris Lowe, who came to the AC/DC concert, and now he's going to have to get another night at the hotel.
It's all right. I'm Slay's taking Slay. What time's our reservation at Stony River tonight?
Yeah, we got some people that know some people, man.
You know who loves Stony
Slay's
River?
got you covered.
You know whose favorite restaurant in the whole world is Stony River?
Another Low.
Chris, exactly. The original CeeLo, Chris Lofton.
And Jordan.
I think got his picture. They got his own booth and everything.
They should.
He and Jordan Howell. They go there
Howell.
all the time when he's in town.
They got some them rolls, boy. Them rolls with that honey butter.
Sea bass isn't bad either if you like seafood.
So they can always pick off one menu item out of any restaurant you mentioned.
That's that one right there.
And right across the top, Bricktops ain't bad either.
No, that's
right
my
across the
spot.
road.
Yeah.
We were talking about quarterbacks during the break. So Arch Manning getting all the hype, right? Like, so when you talk about SEC quarterbacks, I guess you start there. You like DJ Lagway.
Well, if you gave me one pick right now, and I would go with Lagway. No, I think Arch is going to be a great player. I know people say, wait a minute, Arch Manning. Lagway, to me, checks every box. He's got to still go do it for a whole year. He did it for part of the year last year, but I mean, you go back to watching him against, just take the Tennessee game as an example. He goes in there after Mertz gets hurt, leads him right down the field, throws that people on his face, throws that touchdown pass.
I have no idea why they didn't go for two right there.
Well, if they do, I think they win the game.
Because the crowd was dead right there.
Defense is on its heels.
Yep.
And remember, they ran out. Didn't they run out in the old Emory, as Spurs called the old Emory and Henry play?
And they called timeout.
Yeah, we went to old Emory and Henry. James Bates lives right down the road here. But and then they called timeout. So he can throw it. You can get him on the ground. He's got good pocket presence. He's a tough kid. And I think his leadership, he's played more than Arch. So I think he'll be a little bit further ahead than Arch to start the season. But I don't think you can go wrong with either one. And Lenore Sellers is another one.
That guy, man.
He's the closest thing I've seen, not just as an overall player. I'm not comparing the two, but trying to get on the ground to Cam Newton, since Cam Newton was
Big body guy.
in the SEC. Play breaks down. You think you got him. He's 242 pounds.
It looks like it.
And his
feels like
his feet and the way he moves and the way he gets out of trouble.
Yeah.
I was at the Clemson game last year, and that run he made to put them ahead, once he cut it back up at the 10, there were two safeties coming in on him. And Slay, they both made business decisions.
Yeah, we don't want no parts of it.
Almost won at Alabama. What was the other game? LSU. He got hurt, or they win that one.
Right. And so those three. And listen, Nussmeier put up big numbers. I think can he be more consistent? But he certainly's got it. And
they need a run game where you can't just play back on.
Yeah, let me give you. And I don't know what they have around him. We're going to find out. But the kid who transferred in, the name that I think everybody needs to write down is John Mateer at Oklahoma, who comes in from Washington State.
Okay. Yep.
Can run it, can throw it. Tough guy. I really like his game, and I don't know. They did bring in some players on offense. They went and hit the portal hard, but he's another guy. The good thing for him is he comes in with his offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
So it's not like he's got to get used to a different offense or a new OC. But I like him a lot. And I tell you what, not just because we're right here in Nashville right now. Mm-hmm. How many quarterbacks jumped in last year and made the impact immediately that Diego Pavia did?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is there another level to his game, do you think?
I think
because
there is.
He was hurt down the stretch, and I just kept hearing from over there that, hey, man, he's not going to play this week. And then he would.
He wasn't close to 100%.
Or we're going to play him the first half and try to get him out of there.
Yeah.
They wouldn't.
But he's not going to be. He's tiny.
Right, and he only knows how to play one way.
Right.
He ain't run out of bounds.
Nope.
And he's just not going to. And
I love that guy.
You could say I'll pay you $1 million if you don't take hits and
so I came over here. Was it last month? Spent a day with Clark and the program and talked to him and Bob, and he told me, because he's not an excuses kind of guy, Coach Lee, and he said, listen, he wasn't close to 100% down the stretch. They weren't going to say that during the season for obvious reasons. They don't want him being more of a target,
right?
Make it sound, but he was not close. And he was just sort of playing on blood and guts. So, but to your point, Don, playing that way in this league, can you stay healthy for 12 games? I don't know. I don't know how realistic that is.
And probably not at Vanderbilt either when depth is always a problem, right? Especially in the trenches.
No, but boy, he made a huge difference with that team. I think you could look at all the quarterbacks in the league last year and say who had the greatest impact on their team from going from where they were when they started the season to what they were to where they ended. I think Diego would probably be right up there in the top couple.
Him and Sellers.
Yeah, Sellers too. Yeah.
Real quick, now severe WX. Severe thunderstorm warning has been issued. Tornado possible. Destructive winds, 60 mile per hour. Hail up to 3 inches observed. This is for Cannon, Davidson, Rutherford, Williamson, and Wilson County until 5:45. So an hour left on this deal as another big line of storms moves into the Middle Tennessee area. Severe thunderstorm warning for everywhere, basically. But we're trying to monitor the tornado situation. By the way, somebody asked earlier, what's the difference between a tornado watch and a tornado warning? Tornado watch means conditions are favorable for tornadoes to develop in a specific area, but no tornado has been sighted yet. A tornado warning, on the other hand, means that a tornado has been either sighted or detected by radar in the area, and there is imminent danger. So there's that. Somebody called in and asked to get your take on Gunnar Stockton with Georgia.
Yeah, well, and the best thing I think he's got going for him, and Georgia does, is he played last year on a couple of really big stages. And go back to the SEC championship game. He came in, anybody's game, and he got it done. Now, he didn't throw for 400 yards, but I don't think when he walks out there this year, he's going to be intimidated.
Right.
He's seen it. He's been there when it counts. He's certainly got to be a guy on – because what Georgia asked their quarterback to do is different than some of the schools because they're so good around him. That said, I don't think at running back, Georgia's going to be what they have been – I don't see Nick Chubb running around.
Yeah, no Sean Marino, none of the guys.
But they're still good enough. They're going to be good enough up front. I thought their offensive line underachieved last year. They were better than they played.
Yep.
So he's still, though, not going to be asked to throw for 300 yards and have to throw it 40 times a game. It's can he make big throws on third down? Can he move the chains on 3rd and 2 and 3rd and 3? He can scramble and run the football. But I think he has played. There was a point, he's been in competitions there on campus for the starting job. Again, I think when you're taking over a place like Georgia, sometimes there's that. Okay, boy, am I ready for this? I don't think he will go through that. I think he's past that, having played when he played on the stages he played at last year.
Two more guys real quick. Jackson Arnold transferring from Oklahoma to Auburn. Do we see something better out of him at Auburn with you? And also Aguilar at Tennessee, because I had to ask the Nico situation question to Coach Heupel the other day when we had him on.
Not the Nico situation, the Aguilar situation.
I told Slay, Babs was watching online. He looked at me like he knew the question was coming. He was, and it was almost like, I'm going to let you finish. And then I knew he had a response for it. And he goes, let's call it the Aguilar situation, which I thought was a beautiful way to respond to that.
Josh can be sneaky witty if he wants to.
Very funny.
So let's start with Don's boys down there on the plains. He's got to play with confidence. He lost his confidence. And probably more importantly, I think they lost their confidence in him at Oklahoma last year.
Like Stella got her groove back. He needs to get his groove back.
And now, all his receivers were hurt. Every one of them got hurt at Oklahoma last year. But once he got, I think it was a Tennessee game, they benched him. And it seems like from that point on, but there's a reason he was a top 3 or top 4 quarterback in the country.
5-star guy.
Everybody wanted him. He's got wheels. He can throw the football. I know he's worked hard. I had a chance to visit with him a month or so ago when I was at the Plains. I went and had one of their lemonades, too, there at Toomer's Corner.
The best.
He said, and talking to his teammates, Brent, he's really worked hard to get to know the guys and hang around them and do things off the football field because he understands the quarterback's got to be the leader of the team. Hugh said that he's thrown the ball great this spring, and here's the other thing. He's got some guys. I think he's got some dudes knowing to throw to. Eric Singleton, remember the Eric Singleton Jr. from Georgia Tech? Yeah. Can fly, and I think will be a perfect complement to Cam Coleman. And I think those guys will play better as a group because the receivers did not play well last year.
Right.
It wasn't all on Thorne. And the other one was Joey Aguilar. I mean, he's got to win.
A lot of it was.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Joey Aguilar's got to win the job. That's the big thing.
Do you think he'll win the job? Because
I have my doubts. I've said it on the show.
I do too. Now I'll full transparency, I watched that Clemson game. Was it the Clemson game?
Yeah, he threw
I
4
watched
picks.
Every single, somebody put together every single throw he made in the Clemson game. And I was like, dude, this is alarming.
He's got a little bit of a gunslinger mentality to him. He can't turn the football over, because what Tennessee did the best last year to get to the playoff is Slay. They put it on their put it on their defense, and Jake Merklinger's not just going to roll over. I think there was a chance Merklinger, I know we're up against it here, would have looked at maybe getting in the portal. I think he got a little bit more money, did not, and I think he's ready to compete for that job. This is a very short window, Dawn, for a guy like Aguilar, anybody to come in and win a job. So he just got on campus. A lot of the guys on the team aren't on campus yet, so he's going to have June, July to get to know those guys, throw with them, and then preseason camp starts in August. Here's my prediction: Tennessee plays 2 quarterbacks this year in some way, shape, or form.
Okay.
Like as a system, not.
No, I don't think they want to do that. I just think there will be. The
competition will bleed over.
Right. It will play out that way, that they will play 2 different guys at quarterback.
It's going to be fascinating to watch. It is.
Well,
Coolman Hendon took the helm.
Have fun tonight, just kind of chilling. And
what time's that reservation, Slay?
Let me call Savage. Savage knows. Sure.
Slay will take care of you.
Put it on Jordan now.
Like Chris Lowe needs any help in Nashville now, right?
We go straight on down. I got another little spot to see this.
And when I'm having a cocktail after, I'm going to ask him to blast "Have a Drink on Me" from AC/DC.
So that might work for us.
Have fun at that show tomorrow, man.
Trying to walk a straight line on sour mash and cheap wine.
So you ain't gonna do that, first of all.
My glass is getting shorter on whiskey and some water. See, I'm
schooling us on the way out, CeeLo. That's what you do.
Love it.
I like that.
Chris Lowe, ESPN.com. It's studio. Appreciate you, brother.
See you guys. This has been great.
All right, when we come back,
you in person, by the way.
We'll talk some Titans football with Jim Wyatt. The Titans, some of the Titans brass met with the media today. Jim Wyatt joins us next from TennesseeTitans.com.
What's happening, y'all? Boswell Golf Cars. That's where you need to go, boswellgolf.com. I'm telling you right now, if you're in the 104.5 The Zone Golf Tournament, you just should be excited, because Boswell's Golf Cars, they're giving away at a hole-in-one. They're sponsoring a golf hole. So, not just one, but 4 different holes. If you get a hole-in-one, you'll be a winner of a new golf car. How crazy is that? All you got to do is just dive into the tournament, get ready. I'm telling you right now, it's going down June 9th. But to go get your own, you may want to supply your own. 111 Transit Avenue. I'll have my own. I have a Slaymobile coming through there. Boswell's Golf Cars, they're the Nashville's-based full-service golf car dealer. So if you have your own, you can take it into the showroom and they'll do it all the business that you need done to bring it back. They'll even spruce it up a little bit. Yamaha, EasyGo, Cushman, Evolution, and Icon. They have all the brands there available. Just get in there and get you a golf car. That is Boswell's Golf Cars.
Where'd they stay?
Turn the mic off.
Good evening. It's 5:04. I'm Joseph Bonanno, live from the 104.5 The Zone studios. The NFL owners voted today to permit players to participate in flag football at the 2028 Summer Olympics in Los Angeles. In Tizzy basketball news, former Tennessee star Zakai Ziegler has filed a lawsuit against the NCAA seeking a fifth year of eligibility to compete in the 2025-26 season. The lawsuit alleges that the NCAA's rule permitting only 4 seasons of competition within the 5-year eligibility window is an unlawful restraint of trade under the federal and state antitrust laws. Ziegler's camp claims that he could make anywhere from $2 to $4 million in NIL. Tennessee baseball's first matchup in the SEC tournament is set as they will face off against 9-seed Alabama tomorrow morning at 9:30, weather depending. The winner will go on to face top-seeded Texas on Thursday. For our Foundation Repair and Waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
HL 104.5 The Zone. Britt Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slay with you. Jim Wyatt joins us from TennesseeTitans.com. Jimmy, what's up? How are you?
I'm doing great. Hope you guys are doing well.
Hi, Jimmy.
Somebody wants to say hi to you, Jimmy.
What's that?
Somebody wants to say hi to you real quick.
Nobody has ever worn a visor the way Jim Wyatt wears a visor. Spurrier, nobody. Not even close, Jimmy Wyatt. You know who this is?
Yeah, I appreciate that. I should know this voice because I've heard it before, and I haven't been listening if you're giving a clue away.
I'll give you one hint. You're the first one that told me when Ron Slay came to Tennessee. You covered him in high school.
This is my man Chris Lowe.
And you said, your advice to me, you said, whatever you do, Slay's a great guy, but you better be nice to Lily.
Oh, that's great.
Hey,
Yeah.
Jimmy knows. Jimmy had high school run-ins.
Keep up the good work, Jimmy.
Ron and Lolita both took great care of me there. Those are some of my best memories from coming to high school sports, is being out at Pool Cone and keeping track of Ron and going to Oak Hill Academy with him and getting to know his mom. So those are very fond memories of those days. And then I tell people all the time, I mean, I have great memories of my working at the Tennessean and getting my work ethic from guys like Chris Lowe and David Clymer and Jeff Legwold and certainly Larry Woody and so many great people that have come through. But Chris Lowe was a bulldog at the Tennessean and certainly broke all kinds of stories and I didn't want to let people down when I started working covering the Titans because the people around me were killing it. So I give Chris Lowe all kinds of credit for me watching him and showing me how to do it.
Well, he's not here anymore, so you don't have to be nice. No, but you're right about all of those things, and he wanted to say hi to you before he left. Jim Wyatt, TennesseeTitans.com. Callahan and some of the players met with the media today talking about how quarterback reps will be split up. I thought that was a non-story today, but then you see national guy take it and go, will Cam Ward start game one? And you're like, what? Like, yeah. We're talking about OTAs.
Yeah, and it is really kind of a non-story, to be honest with you, because this is something that he talked about would be the case once the off-season program started. And the reality is, what they're doing now is pretty much a lot of conditioning and installing and nothing against the defense, no 7-on-7s, no team periods. So, yeah, all of them are working. And I think it'll be, it's probably going to continue like that through OTAs and mini camp. I think it'll be before training camp before we really see first team reps, more of them rewarded to one of these quarterbacks. And but yeah, that's what happens in May is those questions always going to get asked and answered, but I can't say that it means a whole lot right now.
Okay, anything just big picture before we get into specific kind of quotes or things that came out from Brian Callahan. Anything big stand out to you?
Well, I think the biggest thing is just because I've seen because I've been able to watch some of these off-season practices. So I've seen how he looked, and up until this point, Brian hasn't really talked about that. And so today he kind of opened up more about how good J.C. Latham looks. He's lost some weight, got himself in great shape. He also got a haircut. He didn't divulge that, but he got a haircut and looks different when you see him physically, and then certainly from an appearance standpoint with the haircut. But I think that was the biggest thing, is just how good he looked. I mean, Brian talked a lot about what he's been doing from a team building standpoint. That's dividing the teams up into groups of 8 and assigning different captains and co-captains to try to develop leadership throughout the locker room. He changed the locker room setup where, it used to be when you walk in there, you knew where all the receivers were, you knew where the DBs were, knew where the offensive line were, and because those guys were all huddled in the same area of the locker room. Now he's divided those guys up, throughout the locker room, where a receiver could be next to the defensive back, a quarterback could be next to, certainly a linebacker, and I think that's helping the team get to know each other better. I think once you get closer to the season, I think once you get to training camp, I could see it going back to the way it's always been. But I think what he's done this offseason is just build more of a team concept where these guys know each other better, where they're wanting to fight for one another more. And he's encouraging them to do more stuff off the field, to have more of a team feel. So I think those are the biggest topics of conversation. And I guess the last thing is he did talk more, and Tony Pollard talked today just about how he'd like to see a more maybe even distribution of carries with the running back. I think he felt like Tony Pollard ended up doing too much last year, and as a result probably put himself in a position where he was nicked more at the end and wasn't able to finish like he wanted to. So I think early in the year, and again, health has a lot to do with it, and production is going to dictate how things go as well. But I think you'd like to see more of a split between Pollard and Spears and Khalil Mullings and Julius Chestnut, whoever's in that group at running back.
Live and learn.
Jimmy, Dan Moore, what were your thoughts after hearing him speak, and what he can bring to this O-line crew when he's stepping in, being pretty much the veteran of this bunch?
Yeah, I mean, I like his attitude and like his mindset. I mean, he knows the Titans put a lot of faith in him and signed him to a big contract, and now he wants to come out and prove that he's worth it. And I think he's got that type of mindset as he takes over. He knows J.C. Latham and Peter Skoronski from having worked with them leading up to the start of the free agency period, and just so happened that they ended up being teammates when he signed here. But, I think he's solid, and certainly he was asked about some of those PFF stats, which I always say are overrated. I don't care what position it is. You never know what a guy's assignment is necessarily on offense or defense, if guys are supposed to get help and guys are just assigned sacks. So he talked through some of that, but again, I think the only thing that matters now is what happens moving forward, and Titans feel like he's going to be a really good player, and that's why they paid him a big contract.
Yeah, he said Bill Callahan's doing a great job coaching him up on things that he can tweak in his game. I'm going to say I'm anxious to see him on the left side in camp and see what's going on there. He said he's right where he needs to be, which is good, man. Be where your feet are. But the locker room thing, moving people around, do I remember somebody else doing that? Did Fishbone do that, or did somebody else did that, didn't they, at one point?
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember necessarily who it might have been. I think that has been done before.
Yeah.
I didn't remember that.
I think it was before you. I think it was a long time ago.
I was going to say, it's always been by position. I mean, for probably the last 20 years.
But I will say this, a lot of times, over the years, we don't see what the locker room looks like until training camp.
Yeah,
right. That's true. Yeah.
And so this is the first time it's really been out.
Maybe I heard it a long time ago and wasn't supposed to say anything.
That's probably more like it, yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Jim Wyatt with us. Also, like creating teams, right? Like with a point system where 8 guys are on a team and they're different positions, and they're getting creative over there, trying to get some kind of bonding level going.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody knows exactly what the prize is to end up winning this thing. That's the one thing guys are laughing about. They went at the end of this, and they said they didn't know. Cody Barton kind of was joking that it was a car, but I don't think Brian Callahan said. But they're keeping track, and these guys compete. I mean, it's one day it's a tug of war at the end of practice, and again, this is in addition to what else is going to be going on in the competitive period. But at the end of practice every day, they're having competitions where they're assigning certain players to compete in certain drills, and one day it's tug of war, one day it's moving the sled, one day it's having a rope attached to a device where you're trying to pull it across a certain yard line. I've seen them do rock, paper, scissors one day. Believe it or not. So it's something different after every practice, and they are getting very creative, and certainly this is an idea that Brian Callahan wanted to bring to the team, and then Zach Woodfin, the team's strength and conditioning coach, has kind of been the hype man and getting these guys going at the end of practice to compete. And there have been some great celebrations because guys are cheering for each other and cheering for their team. And I do notice that it's brought a lot more energy to these practice sessions.
Jimmy, is this one of the younger, and I know roster's not done, whatever, but just as a whole for players that you're assuming you're leaning on, right? Is this one of the younger teams that you've covered?
Well, it could, certainly, if Cam Ward ends up being the starting quarterback as a rookie, that's a very important position that's going to have an inexperienced player to start. I think a lot of these other positions, we'll just have to see who wins some of these. Like offensive line, I feel like it's going to be more veteran than certainly last year because you're going to have Dan Moore in there, and you're going to have J.C. Latham in the second year. Skoronski's played for a couple of years. Zeitler has played in the league for a while. Same with Cushenberry. So I think up front on offense, young, potentially at the receiver position, you're going to be counting on some younger guys to step in and help you. I think there's a pretty good mix. Yeah, there are some young guys who are going to be counted on, but I also think there are some guys who have done it before that will be in the mix as well, where it's not going to be a totally inexperienced team.
Jim Wyatt with us, TennesseeTitans.com. This from Nash Severe WX, just monitoring these storm situations. By the way, there are pictures all over my social media feed. I don't know about y'all, but of hail next to a baseball, and they're the same size. Oh. So when we were talking about baseball-size hail, that was a thing. They tweeted, more storms gathering to our west, should be here around 6:30 or so. Main concern with that will be heavy rain and strong winds. By bedtime, this will all be over. How does he know when our bedtime is? Anyway. So I wanted to get that out there. Cody Barton. So I don't know how much stock I should put into, like hearing people talk or whatever. But I was sold on Cody Barton today. What do you think about him at inside linebacker? I know he was second on the team in tackles in Denver, and he's kind of a guy that can fill his gap and make the play that is supposed to be made, right?
Yeah, and you're right. He's a great personality, very comfortable. I met him, I guess, a couple of weeks ago, and planned on talking to him for 5 or 10 minutes, and ended up talking 20, 25 minutes because the guy's just got such a big personality and so so fun to talk to. And it was the first time really before the big group, and he was very comfortable and certainly is very thankful that the Titans put faith in him to award him with a 3-year contract. He said he just bought a house, looking forward to being here, looking forward to making a big difference on this defense. I think the biggest question is who's going to play next to him. And they've got a group of 4 or 5 guys that are going to be competing for that spot. But he's been very productive. He's been very durable. I think he is going to be a very outspoken leader on that defense. He's got a great story. I mean, he had to pay his dues in high school. He said he was probably, I want to say 5'10", I'm trying to remember, 5'10", 170 or something like that, going into his junior year in high school, and didn't see the varsity until late in his high school career, and then just kind of developed. Same thing in college. He wasn't a starter early on, and then by his senior year he was a starter, but he's also always playing behind people. And then when he got into the league, he had to bounce around a little bit and played behind veterans, and finally got a chance. And now here he is in Tennessee, with this, a chance to be one of the leaders on the defense and a guy that they're counting on. So he's all about putting in the work and being patient. And I think certainly he's going to be a big asset to this defense this season.
A big ass what?
A big
asset.
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry, Jeff. Femi's vids are freakish. I know that.
Who is that?
Femi.
Yeah, I've seen him more with his shirt off than his shirt on.
Hey, if I looked like that, I'd be the same. I bet you would too, Jimmy.
I would. Yeah,
I do.
So he definitely is proud of his physique, and it should be. But he's also got a great personality, really funny. I always can usually hear him before you see him, and I think he's going to be fun to watch.
You okay, Jimmy?
Yep, I'm good.
Okay. Jim Wyatt, TennesseeTitans.com, at J Wyatt Sports. Thank you, Jimmy. Appreciate it.
Okay, y'all have a good one.
Stay safe
Jimmy.
out there. 6:30, the next line coming through. So we'll see what happens there. But just be aware. All right, more 3HL next. You'll hear more from Brian Callahan, Tony Pollard, Dan Moore, Cody Barton. That's coming up next as we continue to roll through 3HL. You can watch the show live, YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitter, and Twitch.
Twitch, please.
The F&M Bank chat is open. NBA playoffs coming up tonight. Western Conference Finals. Game 1 is at 7:30 on ESPN. Oklahoma City favored by 7.5.
My parlay together.
You're getting a parlay together?
Yes, I am. Dang.
What about the NHL? You gonna dabble into
we're so close to tomorrow.
Florida and Carolina?
I can always test and see what Todd Father wants to do.
Oh, yeah. Todd Father coming on tomorrow at 4:20. All right, we'll take a break. 3HL 104.5 this home. I want to tell you about my friends at Brentwood Jewelry. These are your guys for any of your gifting opportunities that come up during the course of the year. You can get it done at Brentwood Jewelry. BrentwoodJewelry.com is the website. Maybe you're thinking about popping the question. Let the guys at Brentwood Jewelry take the stress out of selecting that perfect engagement ring. They can help you find a beautiful ring in your ideal budget. Browse their incredible selection of one-of-a-kind rings, or talk with their custom design specialist to create a stunning ring as remarkable as your loved one. If you haven't already heard, Nashville's premier timepiece dealer is Brentwood Jewelry. Man, they have an incredible selection, all of the great brands that you can think of right there at Brentwood Jewelry. And not only do they have the best selection of watches, they're also the go-to spot for pre-owned Rolexes, both vintage and current models. You can own a fine pre-owned Rolex for a fraction of the cost, and every watch has been meticulously serviced to ensure the highest level of performance and is presented with a 2-year warranty. Brentwood Jewelry, 7012 Church Street, located in the heart of Brentwood, just off Franklin Road. Exceptional style, exceptional deals every day for more than 50 years. Visit BrentwoodJewelry.com. 3HL 104.5, The Zone, Britt Doherty, Don Davenport, Ronald Sylvester, Slay.
What up, though?
Slay was looking for a box that was supposed to be delivered on Friday. This is when I saw him walking up the stairs and understood how big a problem that knee was.
Thursday.
Thursday.
It's supposed to be delivered on Thursday. It was delivered on Thursday.
Yes, but you were looking for it on Friday.
Yep, because I was absent.
You were absent on Thursday. Babs was absent on Friday. You were looking for it on Friday. You were walking up the stairs. I was like, oh, my gosh. I'm so sorry, Slay Dog. And you're like, man, what are you going to do? Basically. But you didn't find the box.
No.
And so we talked about it on the air. Like, a lot of times, packages that are supposed to come here, 10 Music Circle East, end up at 10 Music Square East, which is the BMI building over by the Naked statues.
Right.
Does that thing have a name? Is it like Musica or something?
Yes.
Is that what it is? Mm-hmm. You're for sure?
No.
Oh.
But I sound like I do. I was, right?
My joke about the thing is those statues had clothes on, then Davenport drove around, and now they don't have clothes because she went around so fast. But anyway, so we found the box yesterday. We didn't find it. It was delivered by Tyler over at 103.3, and he was like, I forgot. I got this on Thursday, and I didn't see Slay. That's a pretty good Tyler impersonation. I didn't see Slay, so I hid it.
Like, why would you do that?
And then he said he remembered.
Because he didn't want anybody to steal it, Slay.
Nah, I doubt it.
And then
I think that's him playing the
He
game.
also didn't. He said he didn't even. So he gave it to you yesterday, but he said he didn't even look at the name on the package. It just read snacks, so he knew it was for you.
Well, that's pretty good. Pretty smart man.
Oh man. So you got the parsley going?
I do. I'm loaded up and locked in and ready to roll.
How many legs for this one?
This one is.
Oh my gosh, it's taking way too long to count.
Now I had to get back in my
Oh, okay. While you do that,
7 legs.
7 leg parlay.
But you have to. I mean, it's player props. What you gonna do?
I love player props, especially when they hit. Remember that one time it hit last week?
Yep.
That was good. Zeph Dog has some tornado warnings in Middle Tennessee.
That is right. This is off News Channel 2. Tornado warnings in effect for Maury and Williamson County until 5:30, Christiana, Montgomery, and Todd until 5:45, Bedford, Marshall, and Rutherford until 6 o'clock. And there are a lot of counties in tornado watch, not warning, watch.
Yeah, pretty much all of Middle Tennessee. And the next line of storms coming through, the 65 corridor, they like to say, like dividing the state down the middle, about 6:30 p.m. So you got about an hour. It is dark as crap in downtown Nashville, I'll tell you that. Is that a good way to describe it?
Yes.
I guess so.
Dark as crap?
Yeah. Scurry on
Dark
through.
AF.
Yeah, after 5.
After 5. Did Ryan shout out there?
Do you want to do your parlay now, or do you want to hear from Brian Callahan?
We can hear from Brian Callahan. I'm ready, though, whenever we're ready.
I say Callahan first and
Let's do
Slay's parlay at the end.
That sounds good.
Yes, ma'am. That would probably be the correct radio thing to do.
Did you didn't ask my opinion, but I gave it.
It's accepted.
It's the first time that's ever happened. Brian Callahan, cut number 6 there's F-Dog. Brian Callahan talking about how much of the offense does Cam need to grasp to draw that first start at Denver.
Yeah, I think there's so much work to be done between now and then, particularly for him. So many things that you have to learn as a young quarterback. So I don't get too far down that road personally with him. We're focused on the next day, really, at this point. Trying to get him up to speed as fast as possible and get him ready so he can go compete for a job. And that's ultimately where it all lands right now. So not going to make too many proclamations about that. About September here in May. So feel good about where we're at and the work he's put in, and we'll get there when we get there.
Good job, Coach Callie.
It's a long way away, man.
This is why they're splitting reps also, because Will Levis knows the playbook. There's that. You heard Jim Wyatt talking about J.C. Latham and how he's changed his body. Brian Callahan was asked about that, about J.C. Latham committing himself to getting his body in the right shape this offseason.
He really committed himself to getting his weight at the range that he needed to get it to. He probably admittedly was heavy at the end of last season as the second half of the year wore on. he learned a lot of lessons himself, about what it takes to play tackle in this league, the caliber of players you face every week, and there's no letdown. And I think every rookie goes through that phase where they realize, man, whatever I did before, I got to do it better if I want to have a chance to be the player I think I'm capable of being. And JC's capable of being an excellent football player, and he really dedicated himself to changing his body. Like a lot of first-year players going in their second year find ways to do. He looks great. He's in great shape. He's moving really well. I'm excited about where he's at. But all the credit goes to him and just understanding what he realized it was going to take to be the player that he wants to be, and he dedicated himself to it.
So that was his decision. It wasn't like the result of like the exit meetings last year. It was his decision.
Oh, sure. We had conversations about it. Obviously we track these guys' weight every week, and we're aware of where that's at. And one of the things that he was challenged to do was to get himself in a playing weight that's more suitable to play for 17 games at the level that he needs to play at. So, but he dedicated himself to doing it, and he did it. And right now he's in a really good place. So excited about that.
You don't know what you don't know until you know.
Yeah, take year two, to take the step into year two as a pro. That's simple. Yeah, you had a really good rookie year, a really good rookie year. You know what I'm saying? Coming in, playing a different position. You held your own against a guy that was playing a new position next to you. That was his second year. Offensive line was in turmoil. You didn't know what was going on with the quarterback. Like, you were a mainstay to this. So
weird things were happening out there.
This next step. Yeah, that's dope. That's what is expected. I would have expected him to do that on his own research on that, too.
In terms of the exit meeting, can't you see a player going, hey, what do I need to do to get better? That would be the first question I would ask in that deal.
Yeah, if I was a coach, I would ask
anyway.
him. Yeah, you're going to say, you're getting to that for that reason. If you're coming back.
Right.
If you ain't coming back, we ain't going to waste our time doing that.
By the way, speaking of the left side of the line, I just read, I think it was PFF had Peter Skoronski was like the number 7 guard in the NFL in run blocking. And he was down the list on pass blocking.
Yeah.
But up there on run blocking. Tony Pollard, y'all want to hear from the running back?
Might as well.
Is there more confidence going into year 2, as you were talking about, with this system in his case?
I would say, yeah. Just it feels like it's a lot more confidence in the building. Guys kind of have a feel for how things go, being in this system. All of us were new to it last year, so we were kind of figuring out things and how it worked. And now I feel like for the most part, guys are getting comfortable in a good way and just, playing ball the way they know how.
I always feel like his voice doesn't match his body every time I hear him talk.
He Memphis to the
Is
core.
it just me?
No.
Am I the only one that thinks that? Like, you watch players or you see them play, and then when you hear them, you're like, wait, that's not your voice.
Honestly, I haven't heard him talk that much.
No, not a lot.
You know what I mean?
A couple times last year.
Yeah, but he's not that guy necessarily.
Right. But I always feel like it just doesn't match.
I just feel like Memphis.
Tony Pollard talking about kind of what we were talking about on the additions and the movement on the offensive line.
Definitely. I mean, anytime we can, add depth to the O-line, that's a positive for me. The run game, pass game, play action, just to get everything going. It starts up front with those big guys.
Maine.
Mm-hmm.
Those big guys.
Run game. Dan Moore. You want to hear from Dan Moore?
I do.
Cool with Dan Moore.
There's a specific one I want to hear.
Do it, Babs.
Number 20.
Okay.
On what he has noticed about Cam Ward.
One of the hardest things for a quarterback, I feel like, alone is just being able to get a grasp of the huddle, be able to fluidly say the play and remember the play, and just have a sense of direction and a command of the huddle as well. And I feel like he has that. I feel like whenever he's talking, he has a sense of confidence that guys can feel, and I sense that, we'll be able to feed off of energy from him.
So I expected to hear too. I'm glad. I'm glad we got to hear that.
Yeah.
You like that?
Yep. You can carry on.
That's what you needed right there?
Carry on my wayward son.
I just want to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
How about this one? Because we've talked a lot about this the last few days. That Denver defense and how much of an attacking style of defense it is. They led the NFL by a lot with 63 sacks last year. Dan Moore talking about the offensive line facing that early test against that Denver pass rush in week 1.
Yeah, I mean, every week's going to be a challenge, right? It's the NFL. Obviously, Denver's got a really good group, and then playing in their environment, obviously, it's going to be tough. But we got a good offensive line, and I think we can be a really special group. Like you said, we got to tighten down on some things, and we know that. But I feel the emphasis in the room. I feel the emphasis within the unit of the offense, and I'm just looking forward to it.
You want to hear his thoughts on OLJ?
He's the veteran.
Dan Moore, left tackle, talking about Bill Callahan. Will he be good for his progression as a player in his career?
I do. Just looking at some guys that he's worked with in the past, looking at guys that he's progressed, offensive lines that he's had a grasp of. I do. And like I said, we had a good lengthy conversation, and just what he's looking for me, and helping some of these younger guys come along in their roles and their careers as well. So I feel like it's more of a beneficial or mutual relationship, shall I say. Me wanting to come here and help some guys out, progress in their careers, and Bill doing the same for me.
Good vet talk.
Good vet talk.
Mm-hmm. Leadership.
Your mic
walking in. Veteran, being a leader, walking in, knowing who he is coming into this spot. Like you coming in with some young offensive linemen. You got guys playing new places. You got guys coming in off of injury. Like you're the stabilizer. And then you're able to lean on a guy where you're not the one that knows everything. Like you actually are learning from Bill Callahan because you ain't had a guy teaching you like this. That's what I think.
As we go to break, I'll do it when we come back. A little bit from Cody Barton. When we come back, the parsley.
Yeah, because you told me that Cody Barton has an aura.
I'm fired up about Cody Barton, and you tried to extinguish my flame.
I did. I'm sorry.
Also, when we come back, a Hollywood TV legend from back in the day has passed away. Stay tuned. 3HL.
You know, we love our local sports around Middle Tennessee. Well, the local team, the Legacy Group at UBS Financial Services in Franklin, always a strong supporter of women and girls in sports. And so every Tuesday we do this the same time every Tuesday. We give a shout out to some of our local girls sporting events. And, I don't know what this weather's doing to it, but the Tennessee High School Athletic Association softball Division I state finals are scheduled to start today. They go through the 23rd in Murfreesboro. And, of course, Middle Tennessee with some very high-level softball teams this year, including, among others, Summertown, Oakland, Lipscomb Academy, Liberty Creek, Green Hill. If the weather suits you and you have some time, go out and cheer on those girls as they play for a state championship. This announcement brought to you by the Legacy Group at UBS Financial Services in Franklin, Tennessee. If you have $1 million or more to invest and you want to do that with a local team, call Financial Advisors Brent Thompson, David Reynolds, Jim Candela, Robert Reynolds at 615-721-4921. See if they can help you achieve your financial goals. For their client relationship summary disclosures, visit ubs.com/relationship summary. UBS Financial Services Incorporated, member FINRA/SIPC.
What's happening, y'all? This is the opportunity that you've been looking for because you had an accident against a big truck that was probably out here just moseying on down the street, not paying attention, probably looking straight ahead and didn't notice, hey, this is a big truck sitting up high. This car's beneath me. They're pulling out. They have the right of way. Boom, 80,000 pounds in truck. Collides. Old regular car like yours. You think that's a fair fight? No, that's the answer. What else is not a fair fight? You versus the insurance companies. That's why Bart Durham Injury Law is there for you. You better believe trucking companies have teams of lawyers working to pay you as little as possible. That's where Bart Durham Injury Law comes in. Blair Durham and his team know how to take on trucking companies and fight for the compensation that you deserve. They've been standing up for people in our community for decades, making sure Big corporations don't get away with cutting corners. Now, if you or someone you love has been in a big truck accident, don't go at it alone. Call 615-242-9000. That is 615-242-9000. Bart Durham Injury Law. Protecting the injured, fighting for what's right because you deserve to be paid.
Whether you're a homeowner creating your dream space or a pro managing multiple projects, discover a new way to shop at Ferguson Home, where great ideas become stunning spaces. Ferguson Home is designed for the way you want to shop. Explore the best selection of bath, kitchen, and lighting products online, or experience items firsthand in one of our showrooms. Our experts offer personalized support every step of the way. Bring your vision to Ferguson Home, where it all comes together. Shop top brands like Hinckley or find your local showroom at fergusonhome.com.
Two Rivers Ford announces employee pricing for everyone. Every tradesman, every dad, every rising star. You pay what we pay. Two Rivers Ford. Locally owned. American made.
HL 104.5 The Zone. Again, the AC/DC concert has been postponed till tomorrow. And we mentioned 6:30 for the next line. It looks like it's on the doorstep of downtown Nashville. So stay safe out there. Head on a swivel.
Hang in there.
Hang in there. Oh, Babs comes in running. Run in.
It is pouring.
Is it?
Yep.
Oh, it's dark. I'll tell you that.
Y'all be careful driving home.
Y'all be careful driving home.
For all those that are still commuting.
Again, NBA playoffs coming up. Western Conference Finals tonight, 7:30, ESPN, Oklahoma City, hosting the Thunder. No, they are the Thunder. Hosting the Timberwolves. They're not hosting themselves. It's not an inter-squad scrimmage for the
Tough to do,
NBA Finals. In the NHL side of things, also tonight, Florida at Carolina at 7 on TNT. Carolina, a slight favorite. And then the other conferences will do their thing tomorrow. Slay Dog's got a parlay coming up.
Sure do.
So, some sad news if you're of a certain age. There was a show called Cheers back in the day that was phenomenal. And one of the really funny characters and one of the main characters was played by a guy named George Wendt. And he played a character named Norm. George Wendt passed away today at the age of 76. So in celebration of Norm from Cheers and George Wendt in general, he did so many things in his acting career. Zeph pulled a couple of his marquee little phrases that he did every show. And if you watch the show, you know, but this is an example if you didn't.
Afternoon, everybody.
Norman!
Norm! What's up, Norm? My nipples. It's freezing out there. Afternoon, everybody. Hey,
Norman?
What's the story, Norm? Thirsty guy walks into a bar. You finish it. Afternoon, everybody. Norm!
Norman?
What you up to, Norm? My ears.
My ears.
Evening, everybody.
Norman?
What's new, Norm? Most of my wife. Everybody.
Norman?
Beer, Norm? Yeah, I'd probably just drink it.
A couple of my favorites were not included in there. And I just remember these off the top of my head. How's life treating you, Mr. Peterson? He said, like a baby treats a diaper, which I thought was funny. And he came in and said, it's a dog-eat-dog world, and I'm wearing milk-bone underwear. Celebration of George Wendt. All right, Slay Dog, you got your parlay?
I do have a parlay.
7 legs?
There you go, Zephyr.
7.
It's a lucky number.
Bring me my money.
Fool. All right, Slay Dog, 7 legs on this deal. People got to listen
7
up.
legs.
Listen up.
And here we go. I was adding one. Switching it up a little bit.
Wait, you're adding?
All right, here we go. Lou Dort, over 1.5 threes. Jalen Williams, over 1.5 threes. Anthony Edwards to score 20-plus points. Julius Randle, 15-plus points. Jalen Williams, over 15 points. Chet Holmgren, 10-plus points. Chet Holmgren, over 8.5 rebounds. It's plus 925. Boom. Bet it. Book it. Run me my money. Real simple to do. I really got 2 of them, but
I can't even do one.
So
Okay,
Dort,
so
1.5 made threes.
Dort over 1.5 threes.
Jalen Williams, over 1.5 made threes. Anthony Edwards, 20-plus points. Julius Randle, 15-plus points. Jalen Williams, 15-plus points. Chet Holmgren, 10-plus points. Chet Holmgren, over 8.5 rebounds.
Dang.
That'll get it done right there.
You like that skinny dude.
So you see, I think OKC will win this game.
I hope he doesn't screw you.
Who?
Chet.
Boy, can you imagine?
Chet.
If we hit
Chet-
everything
Chet
and,
been-
and Chet
Chet been
screws
killing.
us, can you imagine me and my reaction?
I don't know why, Yor. Why would your reaction be such a way?
Because what a pro wants is what a pro gets, or whatever he said. That's what I want.
Oh.
Oh, needs.
Come on, Christina Aguilera. What a girl wants, what a girl needs.
Well, I know.
Needs?
Oh, needs, yeah. I don't, yeah.
You don't know.
I did. Okay. Wow.
You don't know my girl, Christina.
I wonder where she is one of the most powerful voices. I think that flew under the radar, dude.
For real.
Okay, this is funny. Todd in our chat. Brent, before I ever saw what you looked like, in my mind, I pictured you as Norm from Cheers because I think you guys sound similar. Aw, R.I.P. Norm.
Thank you, Todd. Yeah, R.I.P. Norm. George Wendt also, he was from Chicago, and he did those Dub Bears things on Saturday Night Live that were so good.
He was good at that.
Yeah.
Great at that. How about that?
All right, back at it tomorrow. Coach Mack will join us. Todd Furman at 4:20. He'll have some stuff for you.
I will too, Todd Father. Bring it on.
Y'all stay safe out there. The line of storms is entering Middle Tennessee for sure, entering the downtown Nashville area and moving across the state. So stay safe. We'll reconvene tomorrow. Appreciate you guys, including us in your day and in your lives. We do not take that for granted, nor do we take that lightly. Have a great night. Be safe. Good night. God bless.
See ya.
Wouldn't want to be unless you all the kids that are about to get out of school this week. Parents enjoy. It's over.
Slay, there is no school. It's almost summer.
He stumped you.
I said to all the kids that are about to get out of school, parents enjoy.
Yes, you did. You're saying the same things. What the hell? 3